welcome to the No Life Show, where we talk about gaming, technology, and more. We're thinking about doing the gaming or the show a little bit differently in the future. We're thinking about cutting the show up into two portions: a gaming portion and a tech portion. Each would be shorter. That way, I don't know. I feel like on YouTube, it's that longer format, kind of hour and a half show. While it does well for some people, other people might like it kind of broken up and allows them to listen to it in that way. And that'll also make it easier to do timestamps, which you can timestamp the show. We're not 100% sure if we're going to be making that transition, but if we do, you will see it shortly, so don't be surprised. There will be two sections, a gaming section and a tech section, and then we're going to mix other content in there if there's other news. Also, don't forget to head over to our No Life Gaming Twitter, boom, and also our Twitch right there. Just give us a follow. We'll be doing streaming, catch us up on updates when we talk about news. Twitter's been very active lately. Just getting more and more into the No Life Gaming contentosphere. We got a good show for you today. We missed last week because last week was Halloween. It was a bad time for us, so we figured we postpone the show till the next week. And whenever we do that, there's always a lot of news and topics to talk about, especially around this time of year before the holidays. So there's a lot to talk about. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to a deep topic tonight, but if we do, that'd be great. But there's just a lot of news to talk about. And there's two big games that I want to talk about as well. So without further ado, let's bring on the co-hosts. What is up, my co-hosts? How you guys been doing?
What up?
What up?
What up?
How was your weeks?
It's been going pretty well.
Pretty good.
What about you guys?
Bad. Not too shabby, man. I'm just opening up all these news articles.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Jesus
say loot
Christ.
boxes.
Yeah. I'm opening up all these loot boxes, and sorry, this isn't Call of Duty World War II, so you guys can't watch me open all these loot boxes.
I got 3 words for how my weeks have been. Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
I've been loving playing that
in
game.
Like the first day. It was like the second
I
day.
did, but I'm not even close to 100% yet.
Yeah,
I'm still
and it like 160 moons to
124.
124 to beat it.
That's the speed run.
There's like 500 for true ending, and then like 800 total.
500 to unlock the like very last area, and so the speed run for that's called the 503 because you get 3 moons in the very last area, so you finish with 503. But there's 842 like unique moons in the game. And you can actually buy a ton, so you can actually like have 999 if you want. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, how do you buy them?
Through the shop.
We'll
you
talk
can use
about
coins.
that.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that later because there's a lot. I really want to get into it with you.
Yeah,
it feels like my computer just got really laggy all of a sudden. Hold on a second.
You download some more RAM.
Oh, what the fuck just happened?
You had me until DOOBIE said in the shop. I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was
Wait,
like, wait, what?
Yeah, there's like little shops. All right. Anyways, sorry about that.
Like Mario Party?
All right. So all right. I guess we could just jump into what we've been playing. We can start with Super Mario Odyssey, both of which that we've been playing. I've also really been enjoying it as well, but not so much as a lot of other people have been enjoying it. So one of my things that I wanted to talk to you about was the difficulty level of the game. And I guess there is a debate whether if collecting like 100% completing the game is a difficulty level in itself. And I do understand that argument because there's so many moons. And like when you play the game, you can be really good at it and collect a lot of moons, but you're nowhere near the mark of collecting all the moons. Like there's just so fucking many. And I guess there is a difficulty in that itself. But the actual gameplay of the game, in my opinion, the boss fights of the game, just completing the game, it's really easy. It feels so good. Maybe it's because it feels so good, but it's super easy.
I would say that this is the best movement in any Mario game. And on its terms of its like difficulty, whether it's easy or hard, Like a lot of people are like, "Oh man, like SM64 was so much harder." Yeah, it was harder. You were 7 when you played it.
Go
back and play it now.
Shit.
Go back and play it now. It
terrible.
controls like ass, so of course it's more difficult because it doesn't control as well.
Right.
Well, that's what I've thought of with the whole like, is it too easy? It was like last time Mario was hard for me was N64 when I was 6.
Yeah,
because
when
it's
you
a
were
game that
6.
was made for people who are 6.
Yeah,
like
look,
it is a kid's game. Like it's a
Yeah.
great kids game, but at its core, it is still a kid's game.
I would say they're easy games to beat. Where the difficulty is they're easy enough for the basic gamer, for the average casual gamer, the kids, to come in, play the game, beat the game. But it's hard enough for those that want to really like put time and effort into it to 100%, whether it be 120 stars in SM64, or whether it be all of the goddamn blue coins that suck in Super Mario Sunshine. Like those are things that little kids or like the casual gamer doesn't give a shit about, but the hardcore gamer does.
What I was gonna say is I haven't played Super Mario Odyssey, by the way.
Odyssey.
But what I'm gonna get at is like Mario, like traditional Mario games are mainly just collectathons. I mean, they're not supposed to be hard. It's really not supposed to be hard. I mean, the only hard part about it would be to be finding what you're supposed to collect, like hidden moons or something like that, or moons that unlock in weird ways. I believe for like hardcore platformers that want hard as balls platforming games, go play Super Mario Maker, I Want to Be the Boshi, or Super Meat Boy, something like that. Because those are for pure difficulty. Super Mario is like just an experience, really. It's I don't know. It's not too hard.
I mean,
I see that. I see that point too.
I will give you the bosses are easy as shit. They're really, really easy.
Yeah, it's like I have so much fun playing the game, like just floating around, but there's literally no challenge to the game other than the fact that there are moons out there that you just have to either know how to get them, like go online and look up a game fact, or just like spend hours and hours just searching around.
I will say that the speed run is if you want to make it difficult for yourself, speed run the damn game. It is man.
I just wish there was an inherent, just another, like even if it was just like a notch more difficult. Like there's literally no difficulty in the game. Like I'm safe to say that it's not difficult. You literally just run and you jump to the next level, and you can, like, they set up the moons to progress in a way where you're not missing them. You're just gonna get them, you know. And you know, if you peek around for like an extra 5 minutes, you'll catch like another 10 different moons. So there's like, the difficulty level to me is a really big apparent issue in the game because it's not difficult at all. And I'm almost nearly completing the game, but I don't, like, I'm just like slowly trying to play it because I don't want to finish it in one day. I don't like playing games like that, especially Switch games where I like to play like on commutes and stuff. And there's not many Switch games to play, you know? So I like to take my time through this. And this one is just, it's fun and the controls feel so great. And I love the way you can possess things. That being said, it's almost like it's almost like they give you a lot of these possession mechanics just to kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel very like there's a challenge in doing that, you know? Like, for example, that one level where you possess like the worms and you can like stretch your wormy body out and go around.
The tropical wigglers.
Yeah, like they had a chance there to do some really interesting things with that kind of mechanic, but instead they kind of just like put a platform a little further away, or this platform's around the corner, and then you got to turn the worm. It's like, you know what I mean? Like there's no challenge in any of the different areas and the different possession mechanics. The tank level, you pop into a tank and you could literally just plow through everything, and it just feels very linear in that sense. Where I wish that there was other, I don't know, just a like an inherent difficulty to the gameplay. That being said, it does feel great, and and it's very joyful. Like the game, like that one, the city level, like when you beat the city level and you go through that montage, that was really fucking cool. That was a really cool moment.
The festival is like one of the greatest parts of the game. And I believe in the speed run, not the 90% because I don't do it in that, but in the big category, like the long one where you do like 500. Even if it's slower, they've already said they're going to do the festival. It's just too much fun not to.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's like when you first get to that part and like they do like the festival thing. I mean, it feels like a celebration of Nintendo. That's kind of what it felt like to me, like that whole scene. But it wasn't difficult at all.
I mean, what I say is don't let the lack of difficulty deter you from playing the game. It is fun.
Yeah, it is
At the end of the day, it's fun.
It is fun.
Well, now, weird.
But it ain't perfect in my opinion.
Yeah,
Not even
I was
close.
gonna say,
No,
like, weird.
I don't think it's game of the year.
Question is like, would it seem better if there was a difficulty slider, like not a huge one, but like a small 2 modes? Just because
I feel like the best way they could have done it was to have something similar to Galaxy, where they had the prankster stars, where it's like, all right, you have to do the same star you've done or the same moon boss fight, whatever, but you have 1 health. That's a little bit more difficult.
Do it like stalls or something.
You have to do it really quickly. You have a timer.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would have been a little bit. I feel like that would have been well done to put those challenges in. But yeah,
because I think that's the wrong place. Because like, I mean, I don't know. It's Nintendo. Like, there was a reason why I got a Nintendo 64 when I was 6 and not a PlayStation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can see how that is a little bit of a problem because. Let's be honest. No, most people aren't buying a Switch to give it to a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
they're like 30-year-old buying it.
Well, I mean,
those are the 30-year-olds that grew up with Nintendo.
Funny that you say that because I just went to my 6-year-old's birthday party. My 6-year-old my cousin's 6-year-old little kid. I went to their birthday party literally yesterday, and they were telling me that they were going to get her a Switch for Christmas. So,
there you go.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like,
it's
up to now,
sell.
yeah, like up to now, I think that's probably been most of the sales I've seen, and it could change obviously as people can now actually buy a Switch,
right?
You know what I mean? Instead of just you have to be dedicated to this and hawking Amazon, just clicking the refresh button like you're buying an iPhone.
Because they did a soft launch that was for the hardcore enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to see the supply is there because, the hardcore enthusiasts have already gotten theirs. There's less competition to get one from the hardcore, like, Nintendo fan versus the casual consumer that for Christmas is going to get it for their 6-year-old kid.
I'm just, like, a little bit worried about that, but we'll see. Just because, like, with the Switch, I was hoping it was going to kind of break that thing that I was just talking about that, if you're under 10, you buy a Nintendo, and if you're over 10, you buy a PlayStation. That was always Nintendo's thing.
I would say they're making a better effort than they have in the past. I mean, getting Wolfenstein 2 and Doom, that's a big sign of a good, of moving forward. That's good. It doesn't help that Capcom sits here and goes, hey, we're going to wait, a year is it's not enough time to get, ports over to the system, except that they did it for the PS4, no problem. It doesn't help when your third party, like, sit there and don't really do anything.
The PS4 from what?
Dead Rising was a game that they threw out there for the Xbox One. Dead Rising 3.
I was gonna say, because if it's from a
not
PS4,
good games, but
if it's from a PS4 to an Xbox One, it's basically the same system.
Yeah,
so that's easy. You know what I mean?
Capcom has been struggling as of late anyway, so I'm not really kind of concerned with them.
Yeah, not to get off topic, but I think like that is the big problem that I have with a lot of those Nintendo games is that they're they can market to children all they want, but in terms of like difficulty, it really doesn't feel like Mario Odyssey is a challenge unless you're going for speed runs or you're trying to collect all the moons. Now, I can debate if that's a challenge in itself. Sure, getting all the moons is definitely a difficult thing, and it's definitely for hardcore players. But that doesn't make the game difficult. You know what I mean? It doesn't make the gameplay difficult. The level designs are so intricate and so beautiful in this game. They just squander them all with just easy, just jump over this thing and land here. Like, it's super easy. And I just really wish that there was just an inherent level of difficulty to the game, some type of challenge, you know? Like, it definitely felt like, and I said this in my review on my one channel, but like some of the puzzles are the equivalent of that children's game where you put the shapes into the shape hole. Like, it's just not, you don't even think. It's just, of course, that's the puzzle. You know what I mean?
So, I mean,
it's way too
I would
easy
say
in some areas.
you wish they had focused more on quality of moons versus quantity of moons.
Yeah, 100%.
And I can understand
100%.
that is a valid argument. I can
100%.
totally understand that.
Yeah, 100%. Because that
For me-
would make like you don't die in this game. You know what I mean? You barely die in this game. You barely
that was
fall
the
off the
thing.
cliffs. You barely like, it's so fucking easy.
They wanted. I know. I understand why they did that. It's the same reason why they don't kick you out to a hub world after you get a moon. Is they wanted to keep you immersed in the world as much as possible, instead of wasting time on death, game overs, things like that. It takes you out of the immersion, and I can understand why they did that. But I do understand why it takes away from the lack of, it takes away from the difficulty. For me, Nintendo has always been, do you want a fun, easy to play game that's going to be enjoyable? You play Mario. Do you want something a little bit harder? Something a little more puzzle, a little more, challenging? Play Zelda.
Yeah. And I think that's why Zelda, in my opinion, is the better game of the two. I wouldn't mind Mario being this easy if it was like a 70-hour game or an 80-hour game. If there was just so many worlds that you can go to and all different types of possessions, but the game's not even that long, It's really not even a long game, and the fact that you can speed run it in how many hours? An hour?
It is an hour and 13 minutes as of today, I believe the current world record is.
Yeah. I mean, no matter the number of moons is going to sway me on that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there's just too easy. It's just
I would say the average time spent per world is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's kind of the speed run just blazes through the game. That's
and when
why
you told me you beat it, I was like, damn, he must have played this game for hours. And then once I started to really get into it, I'm like, this game is not hard. No wonder he beat it so fast.
I guarantee you, for speedrun purposes, the 503 will be the more enjoyable run to play and watch because it will be a lot longer.
Has someone collected all the moons already?
Of the game. There are people who've been went in and just got everything.
Really? That's crazy.
The speedrun, which is not optimized at all, I think was 22 hours for all unique moons.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was completely unoptimized.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wait until that shit's optimized and it's 13 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's my thought on the game. I do enjoy it. It is fun, and like I said, there are moments in that game that they feel really good, and when you play it, you're just so happy when you play it.
I do recommend that anyone who has a Switch who hasn't bought it, buy it. It's worth it.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, Doobie, I can hear your fan in the background. Keeps popping in.
I would say for your commutes, buy the game that's on Local's shirt. This is your weekly reminder.
What game is that? What's on his shirt?
It's Stardew motherfucking Valley, bro.
Oh, I still haven't played that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I will after I get.
Bro, you got to get the Stardew Valley, man.
Dude, Loco, is that just your go-to the Showtime shirt?
It is cool.
Dude, I love this shirt. I always wear this shirt.
It's funny.
It's even too small, and I still always wear it. I don't give a fuck.
It's funny I'm talking so much about Nintendo, and yet I'm wearing a PlayStation shirt.
It's like It's one of those deals that if fuck you, I love the shirt, or somebody's gonna say something that's like, you look fat in that shirt. Well, joke's on you. I was fat before I put on the shirt. Get fucked. But yeah, dude.
Moving on. Next game, Call of Duty World War II. I got some footage up that I want to start playing here. Jared, have you played this one? I thought you said you were playing it. No,
I played the beta, and I played the beta enough to know I'm not spending money on it.
I can safely say it definitely is just another Call of Duty. Let me get the footage so you guys can actually see what I'm saying.
Was the campaign I just want to know about the campaign because I care less about multiplayer.
It's pretty cool, but it's not the best campaign and it's nothing groundbreaking. It's another Call of Duty
That's
campaign.
the thing is it's a Call of Duty. It's it's a Call of Duty game. I could give a fuck less about the campaign.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like campaigns like that, especially if you're going back to World War II.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
I like
those kinds of things.
I was
gonna say
those campaigns.
to me, it's I mean, it's another Call of Duty, but this one was like, it seemed interesting. It just was it was too fast, basically, especially for World War II. It just felt weird to me, like how fast it was. It was still choose a shotgun or choose a submachine gun, run around. Like that just felt weird.
They might have tweaked it a little bit because it is a little bit slower than the last Call of Duty.
And then
Call of Duty was really fast.
Yeah, the war stuff's pretty cool. I just wish there was more of it and that they were longer, because I do think that was a really cool addition.
That's the best part of the game. Period, is the war. So like the first time you play that one Normandy Beach level where I think it's 16 on 16, and you're with your squad and you don't really know what's going on, and they just start pushing you out onto the beach, and you have the other team in these bunkers just hailing down just bullets. It's almost overwhelming. You're just like, how the fuck are we supposed to get past them? They're in these bunkers and they're just raining bullets on us. This is impossible. But it really did put you kind of like in that Normandy Beach scenario where, you know, it was just you're going into your suicide, and it feels really demoralizing, but you had to think your way out of it. And then you break into the bunkers, and then you go through that whole area. Then you have to, then what you do, the next part is you have to destroy their comm systems. And when you destroy their comm systems, they can't talk to each other. So then you can like run through the backs, and it's really cool. The war aspects of the game. Another one's like a bridge level where you got to blow the bridge up or take it down.
That was the one they had in the beta for a bunch, and the bridge thing was cool. And then you end up in like the tank at the end and stuff.
Yeah, the whole part of the bridge is so they can run their tank through and destroy you, and you're trying to stop them, and that's a cool area too. But everything else feels pretty much like Call of Duty, except it's a little bit more slowed down. The guns have a little bit lower of a rate of fire, and I like it. I do like this Call of Duty. It feels good. It looks good. I just wish like there was more of like a customization thing in there. Just something to make your player feel more like you. You know what I mean? Like everyone's still using the STG. Everyone's still using the fucking...
I picked that up immediately from the beta. It was just like, yep, it's going to be STG. That's it. There you go. Yeah. That's the game now.
Unfortunately, that's just what it is right now, is the STG, you know? I like the Grand, the rifle, the M1. And I like the STG, and those are pretty much the only guns I use. But I think once people start to exploit certain things, you're going to start to see different classes pull up. I don't know. Overall, though, it's fun if you like Call of Duty. If you don't like Call of Duty, I mean, there's no reason to get this fucking game if you don't like Call of Duty. It does nothing new, unfortunately, except the war.
Like if they, like for me, it's if they really fleshed out the war side and added more maps to that, I think that could be really cool, because it's like the old Battlefield mode that I loved from like Bad Company 2 and stuff. It's basically that, where it's, you know, it's 2 checkpoints you're trying to take out. You have like a time limit, and you're basically just running at it. Like that mode's really cool to me. But like the other thing I would say is it's still Call of Duty, which means it's in that whole world of who's making it, if it's going to be a good PC port. So this one definitely, I would say, hey dude, if it's, you know, $30 on PS4, sure, go ahead. I'd do that. Would not buy it for PC ever.
No, I wouldn't buy it on PC either. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's literally just, it's what everyone hates about Call of Duty. They just rehash it, reskin it. They might throw one new mechanic into it. Thankfully, the war mechanic is cool, and it does add a lot to the multiplayer. Another thing about the war thing, though, is like it doesn't count to your kill death ratio, because some areas are you're just gonna die 1,000 times, like the Normandy Beach part. So that's kind of cool, but also kind of stupid that it doesn't really attract to your stats. The loot boxes really only give you cosmetics. Like you get grips for certain guns, camouflages, and stuff like that. And then you kind of get like an experience thing where you get these I don't know, they're like different rank things, and you can use that to unlock your guns. So you still have to basically level up to unlock a gun, but then you can use your ranking to officially unlock the gun. It's just a stupid thing, but they changed it a little bit.
You have to do that too for like upgrade slots.
Yeah, upgrade slots is the same way. Pretty much anything you upgrade as like in your personnel, you have to use these rank slots, and then you can get prestige points, which will upgrade them forever. So you
All right,
can't just
so-
like upgrade everything.
Are we just going to gloss over the point that they're using? Like, I'm guessing the prestige points is that like the currency? Is that the currency they're using?
Yeah, there's
What-
like
what
rank
are-
points and
what-
then prestige points.
What are the points that they give you for watching other people open loot boxes? That's what I want to know.
I haven't seen that yet. Actually, I don't know how you
Tweezers
can
for
watch
effect.
other people open
Tweezers
loot boxes.
for
I guess if you're in your own, like if they're in your party, you can watch them. Because when I'm in HQ and I'm not playing with anyone, I'm by myself at HQ. It's not like a multiplayer, like everyone's there. So I haven't really seen that yet. But I'm assuming that they would give you like, you get like, I don't know, there's like 3 different points. You get prestige ranks, you get ranking ranks, and then you get some like other points that you actually use to buy like the boxes, the loot box things. And
Like,
that's
this
But
is-
just disclaimer, it is also the company who patented a system to make you buy more of them.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
That's
dude.
a good,
Like,
they definitely put it in this game because you can watch them open boxes. Isn't that exactly what their patent was? It's to entice you to buy boxes by.
Yeah, but it was even worse
by
because
fucking with your MMR.
MMR. Yeah,
Yeah,
So not
true.
only are they fucking with your MMR, but you're also going to be sitting in a room just watching somebody else open boxes. It's like I go to work, I work 8 hours at my shitty job that I hate, and then I come home to play some good old Call of Duty World War II, and I basically like to earn my paycheck in that. I got to sit there, watch this other fuck open loot boxes and
watch
see
your
what he gets.
5
So I
second
get
ad,
paid.
so you can get one extra cent bonus star.
Yeah, dude.
Hey there, buddy. Would you like to
Like-
spend more money?
Yeah, dude, got that transatlantic accent. When the boys are
The boys are going to
in the
war
field.
on the opening loot boxes. These loot boxes have great content.
Yeah,
Support
like,
the troops.
I just don't. I mean, I get it. I understand what it's for. It's like it's basically they're just like, hey, this can be you. I wonder if hold up.
I
I
mean,
wonder if people that are opening boxes in front of other people have higher percentages of getting better loot.
Possibly,
Good
but I was gonna say,
question.
yeah,
I wonder if that's it.
That's
I gotta
a
put
it's
good
like
these
the
fucking
same thing in
tweezers down,
Destiny
man.
too, though. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing in Destiny, and it's the same thing in like other games too, where it does have. It's not as a theatrical as an event, but like, okay, you say you get a legendary engram in Destiny, you're gonna go open it in town. You can only open it in town, and everyone sees, oh, blah blah blah, found blah blah blah. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not as bad with the cosmetics, but I mean, like that's in their defense, they're not the first game to do that. They
Yeah.
are the first game to be doing it this outrageously, though. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. If there's really, they have such a fan base behind this game that they can do this stuff where they just rehash the game and reskin it. I'm glad they went back to World War II. That is one thing that I'm glad about. I
Yeah.
love Call of Duty. I do think it's a fun game for multiplayer. I love being able to hop into this game and just rip on people for I don't know, half an hour and get a couple matches done. That's fun to me. The campaign is whatever. They have Josh Duhamel as this sergeant who's pretty cool. And it's all right, but it's still like a Call of Duty campaign. It's still at the end, it's like some crazy, just I don't know. It's like what was that one Call of Duty where you rise up and it's just you rise up out of the water after this epic battle and there's just war everywhere around you.
I can't
It's
remember.
just these super just crazy epic scenes that are just they don't really happen that way, but they make them much more dramatic than they really are.
Dude, for the last
And that's
10
it.
years,
And that's all
yeah,
Call of Duty is.
for the last 10 years, I'm pretty sure every Call of Duty and Battlefield campaign has basically been how can we make you Jack Bauer?
Yeah, that's exactly
that's
what
the
it
goal.
Dude, come on. Was it Modern Warfare 2 where you throw the knife in the dude's face?
Yeah,
the
at the
very
very end.
yeah.
That was the best one.
Yeah.
yeah.
I personally, my favorite Call of Duty campaign moment was when you were mowing down civilians in the
No
airport.
Russian.
Yeah, you don't do
God
that in
damn it,
this one,
Loco.
unfortunately. You don't do that. You don't get to mow down civilians in this one. I don't think they'll ever do that in another game ever again. I really don't think.
I mean,
I think
I'd
that
hope not.
could only
Not
last.
after
Well, I
everything that's
mean-
happening
No,
right now.
I would
not
love-
yet.
I
Not
would
with
love,
every
like, a
mass shooting
game
every week.
No, exactly. I would love a game to push
Oh.
the boundaries and like in a good artistic way, and I think Call of Duty really did that, especially at the time it came out. But I don't think we're gonna see that in games, at least for a long time.
Oh no, not AAA titles. Fucking never
Yeah,
ever
not
again. Like
AAA
games
titles.
like what was that one game? Hatred that came out. That was literally the only reason anybody ever even looked into the game.
It's because Twitch banned it.
Yeah, it was like
Dude.
the only reason that people even looked at the game was because it was really just trying to be offensive. It was
Yeah.
like, you're just this psycho killer guy and you're going to go into crowds and mow people down.
Well,
But yeah,
Postal
that
too?
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
Twitch
Post-
banned
dude.
it, and then everyone went into an uproar and tried to play it and realized it's actually a really bad game.
Yeah, it's just
They
a
usually
really
are.
shitty twin shooter
You guys
game.
ever play that like old JFK assassination game from like 2001?
Jesus Christ, no. What is that, on like Newgrounds or something?
No, it
I
was
was
an
gonna
actual
say.
game that you had to download. I forget what it's called. It was made by a Russian dude. And it
On
was like an
Newgrounds?
old game.
The game should have been called Back into the Left.
Back
Oh,
into
God.
the
But there was a controversy around that game as well. But it was still out there and people were still playing it. I just
Especially
don't think
since
you're
you
gonna
shot
get.
from the grassy knoll.
You're not gonna get a no Russian campaign mission in at least in a Call of Duty ever again. Who knows if you'll see it in any other games? Probably in like an indie title, they'll push the boundaries a little bit, but nothing like what No Russian was. That was crazy. But anyways, World War II, it's fun if you like Call of Duty. If you don't like Call of Duty, if you like first-person shooters but you don't like Call of Duty, then Battlefield is probably your best bet. Battlefield is it's a much more tactical, grand, epic
And if-
battle than
Yes.
this is fast run and gun, and it's all Twitch based.
If you want that World War I, World War II kind of shooter, yeah, I would agree with that. Or even I was gonna say Red October, or Red Orchestra, they're still doing really good, but they just released the Vietnam one, so that's gonna be a different setting altogether. But they were really good too if you're like really want that hyper realism.
Yeah,
Like you get shot, you're dead.
yeah, I actually bought that game, and it's really it's fun to a degree. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't.
You got to
I
be
can't-
in the
I-
zone feeling
Yeah.
that kind of game.
Yeah, I can't be fucked to crawl around in the mud for a half an hour, because if I get shot one time, I'm gonna bleed out and I'm dead.
Yeah.
If you
So-
want a game that makes like Arma feel arcadey, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty
and
much.
Rainbow
It's
Six.
a fun
Rainbow
game,
Six
man.
Siege is amazing too. Actually, I should play that again soon. It's been a while. I love that game. All right, so that's Call of Duty. All right, you want to talk about Warframe versus Destiny 2?
Yeah, because I've been playing both.
Okay,
Let's
go.
That's all I've been doing.
I've played.
I'm not gonna go super in detail like as a versus, but I've just been playing both because I think you can relate them to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because Warframe, and I mean I think that's also why Warframe decided to do their huge like expansion when they did. You know, they said it the same week Destiny was coming out on PC. Like that's not an accident. That expansion's really awesome. That said, it's still a grind, but there are actually times I'm preferring it over Destiny.
But it's free.
It's not even the free part. Like even if you spend money on the game, because I have, but it's just like a lot of it comes down to that instant gratification. If you're playing like a looter shooter, a loot grind, you know, something like Diablo, you want to be seeing something dropping that's useful to you every single time you kill a monster. With Destiny, it's like, oh, ammo for my gun that's basically unlimited. And now and then I'll get a blue I'm going to scrap every probably like 10 minutes. And then every 20 minutes I might maybe get a legendary, but it's really more like every half hour. And this is all I'm doing. While Warframe's everything you kill is like, usually it's something, you know, some currency you're going to use to craft or something. It's something really minor that like you don't care that much about, but it does give you more satisfaction just because it's like, cool, this is usable. I need this. Like I might need 5,000 of these things to build this thing, but cool, I just got another 80 instead of ammo.
I haven't been able to play much Destiny, but I have played it a little bit, a decent amount. I'm not max level, so that means I haven't played it more than 6 hours, because that's about how long it takes to get the max level. But I have realized, and I'm glad they're actually going to be patching this, even though I should probably abuse it before they patch it. They're going to nerf public events, right?
Yep.
Because
Which,
literally,
it's the only thing to do in the game.
Exactly. Because literally, as soon as I jumped in and started playing that game, I was talking to Shindo. I think he was just like, "Hey, man, just spam public events," and I was like,
Oh, that's
okay.
That's what we did for our second or third characters. We got the boosts, and we just spent 2 hours spamming public events with double boost.
Yeah,
and
it
hit
gets
max
boring
level.
as fuck.
Yeah, like literally, I just like popped into like the first area, the EDZ area, and
also that's another problem. That's the best area.
That's the only area. That's the only area.
I went to the first public event, and it was like me and one other guy that was like level 6 or something, and then there was like 7 level 20s just all around me, and and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm feeling really bad now because apparently this is all there is to do.
Well, I mean, there's some minor other things to do, but yeah, that's basically all you're going to be doing.
Because
there's there's strikes, and then there's the raid, and there's nightfall, but you don't want to do those till Monday night because you'll cap your milestone. So you don't want to do those until Monday night before servers reset. So until then, you can do public events.
Man, it's a shame.
It's great.
It's a shame. Did you see the post on the Destiny subreddit? I put it up here so that the viewers can see it. But it was a top post saying Destiny is one of the most shallow, linear, vertical progression MMO-esque games ever made, and it's a shame. And he talks about how it's just a complete linear progression. There's no horizontal progression whatsoever, and it makes the game fucking boring.
They pulled the same thing with the first one.
The way you guys speak about it.
Not only that, but like I was like looking at the skill tree and shit, and they're like, I think that the skill tree is honestly the most fucking mundane, useless thing in the whole game, because they're literally like, hey, you leveled up, spend your point now. So you go to your skill tree and you can only get one thing with that one point. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to get this thing. It's like 2 levels later, or like a level later, they're like, hey, you got another skill point. Go spend that. You go to the tree and you just unlock one new, you only have one option. Yeah. It's not even a tree. It's a linear, it's like a stick that they just like made it kind of look like you have options.
No,
but you don't.
It's not
you can like go back.
It's not even a tree until you hit max level doing public events and finally have all your subclasses. Because you can also only unlock one of the subclasses by doing public events.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I understand that like after you have them all unlocked, you just mix and match what you want. But I mean,
sort of. Because it's still.
But I'm just saying, why would I not linear. Want triple jump?
Yeah, no, it's still linear in that sense too, though. That like, okay, your main tree has 2 major parts of the subclass you can choose, and if you want the fourth,
there's no tree.
And it's not a tree. It's a line. It's a line. And you can choose one line or the other line, and there's a choice if you want the actual 4th bonus.
They took all the skills and they just threw it on a page, and you just like randomly have to upgrade. It's like it's a line, but it's not a line.
Oh, it's a diamond instead of a line.
What sucks about it all is that it's fun. Like when it's good,
great.
It's good.
Yeah,
the gameplay it feels really good, except when, like I said, I'm spamming public events.
Yeah.
Like with these max level characters, and I just started playing the game, and there's people that's max level in the same fucking area that I'm at, doing the exact same motherfucking thing. Like, why?
And to get
that's all there is to do now. You can do heroic, and you're gonna get nothing out of that. It's like it's really good until you hit 265, and then you're like, oh.
And then you go play Call of Duty.
All right.
Or Super Mario.
Well, no, like once you're 265, you need to get to 270 for the raid, and preferably 280 to get other things. And you're just like, oh, so I have to keep spamming this for legendaries and currency, and to get a thing that might be 1 power level better. But realistically, it's honestly probably not going to be, and I'm just going to scrap it anyway. And this is your goal for about 20 hours, where you're getting maybe a drop every 2 or 3 hours that's useful to you.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I stopped playing it. It's just.
Which
It kind of what happened with the Division. The same thing kind of happened with Division. You just get to a point where they haven't decided what else to do with the game. They just stop. You just stop. You do the same shit over and over again. And I hate games like that. But what's funny is like games like for example Madden, where it's literally the same exact kind of game every time you play, but you feel like there's like a skill there. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you're getting better, and there is a strategy to things, and the same kind of carries over to Call of Duty, where people play Call of Duty because they treat it like a sport. They want their higher kill death ratios. They want higher ranks. Some of them play like on teams or whatever. And, you know, you treat it like a sport, and the gameplay surrounds the game in that manner. You know, it encourages you to play that game that way.
There's
Where
also
Destiny,
that huge
they don't-
variable in both of those games too, that you're playing against another person.
Yeah,
in those
Yeah,
modes.
and that's what I'm
I was
saying with
about to-
Destiny. They don't blend that idea right. It seems like they wanted to sort of do that, but then they pulled back, and like the PvP was supposed to be like this really, like they wanted to do like esports, and they wanted to get into PvP a lot more heavily than they did in the last Destiny, and it just
the
didn't
PvP
do that.
feels great. No,
It
the
feels
PvP
great, but-
on PC it feels great. It's actually really good. It's the only other thing to do in that game.
Yeah,
But-
and they need to figure out what they want to do with the game, because they can't live in this no man's land where you're making people lying to them, telling them that they can level up their characters and get shit that doesn't even fucking matter when you go into PvP, or just focus on just PvP and create some type of nice ranking system and create like really elaborate ways to have people feel like they're on some type of team when they gear up in there, because they don't do either or good. Like they just don't know where they're going with the game right now. And you figure that they would, since they've had so many years to figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
There's
that's
really not
the other
much
thing
for
is
the
like
game.
they're pulling the same thing they did in the first one, and it's just like this isn't year 1 of Destiny 2. This is like year 4.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's surprising me, because like
Destiny
it's still
1.5.
yeah, like it's kind of weird because it feels better too. Like it feels amazing. It feels great, especially compared to Warframe. But Warframe actually gives you a lot more satisfaction, and their new like entire continent's actually really awesome. So I've been trying to play a little bit of both. And if you're down for grinds and you want that instant satisfaction, I think Warframe's a lot better, to be honest.
Yeah, which is crazy. That's crazy to think.
Yeah, 'cause,
that,
like,
you know.
If you like performance wise and like feel wise, Destiny's amazing. It feels way better like gunplay wise. But like for those little urges you're trying to take by playing a looter shooter or a Diablo style, an action RPG game in the first place, Destiny fails at that hard. They tried to hype up the MMO side of the non-existent social platform that I've never talked to a single person in the entire game of playing Destiny.
Yeah.
But it's an MMO.
One of the top comments in this thread was that if only they hadn't forgot Destiny was an RPG. And then the second comment under it, unfortunately, the developers have their heads so far up their asses they refuse to improve on the model, which is why Destiny will never be a great game. In fact, they seem hell-bent on devolving it backwards. I know there was a conflict of vision when D1 was in development, and it looks like the faction that knew what we wanted, a shooter MMO, lost the faction war, and we're stuck with the assholes who wanted to make Halo 2.0. And that is kind of, I wouldn't call it Halo 2.0, but I don't know. It just feels like they don't know what to do with the game, and they're going to lose this player base because the game gets fucking boring once you hit 265. It gets fucking boring.
And to put it into context too, I had a 3-day weekend. I got to 265 in that 3-day weekend, or about. I got up to 240 in that 3-day weekend, and I hit 265 probably the next day or the day after.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Oh well, they tried. I guess that's all you can ask for.
Like
they tried.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be the same thing as the first one, where it's just like, cool, you gotta wait for the 8th expansion.
Yeah.
All right, so who's waiting on Monster Hunter World to come out? Yeah, man, fucking build up hype for that game, and
we're all playing
God,
that
it doesn't
together. We are
fucking
all playing that
deflate.
together, right?
I'm playing
Yeah.
that shit. Even if y'all fucking hate it, I'm playing it.
I'm getting it on
Play it
PS4, so whoever
So
gets it
yeah,
on
you
PS4,
got-
I'm down to play with.
I already got my game that I'm gonna play no matter what. That even if you guys don't, so
Oh yeah, that we're gonna
it
talk
doesn't
about
come
here
out for a
shortly.
while, but yeah. Trademark soon is all I'll say.
What is that? What game are you talking about?
We'll get to it.
Yeah, well, it's in the news.
All right, let's get into the news. Steam curators will soon to be able to embed videos. What exactly does this mean? Steam curators, like
That's
Well,
kind of cool.
Curators, they're the ones where like you can follow certain curators on Steam. I really need to put these fucking tweezers down. If you can you can follow certain curators on Steam, and they're kind of like mini reviewers. Like if you have the same interests as them, they
Right.
can recommend you other games. So here pretty soon, like I'm guessing if you follow a specific curator, like Total Biscuit is on
I was gonna say,
Steam curators.
He's been doing that for years, and his videos are part of it.
Yeah,
So like
my
actually
personal-
embedding that's huge.
Yeah, my personal favorite is Waifu Hunter. He lets you know if the game has good waifus in it. But yeah, anyway.
I need to follow him.
Yeah, dude, it's hilarious.
I had no idea this existed.
Yeah, the curators is a thing. I really like it. Yeah, they're basically like, they're like, hey, if you like one of them that I follow is RPG Watch or Classic RPG Watch, and they will tell you basically like, because plenty of RPGs pop up on Steam like every single day. So they'll be like, okay, well, this RPG shit, you probably don't want to play it, or this one you might not have heard about is actually pretty good for this reason. They're like mini reviews. So I think videos would be cool.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is on top of that, is like the text can tell you a lot, but at the same time, it's a video game. You're gonna learn way more just also watching that video while reading it. You know what I mean? Or like seeing actual gameplay.
Yeah, and God bless Total Biscuit, but he can't do a what the fuck about every single new game that comes out on Steam.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I never knew that existed. I'm gonna check that. I knew you could follow people, but I didn't know that's what it was. I didn't know it was a curation thing. Steam, for me, I feel like I'm always out of the loop with Steam. Like whenever they do something, it feels like, oh shit, I had no idea they were doing that. I don't know.
Welcome to Valve.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe that they need to get some type of like communications department going on or something. I don't
Welcome to Valve.
You know what's crazy?
We had not. God, like okay, if you play Dota 2, you'll have communication. If you expect it on any other game or Steam,
interesting.
have fun.
I was about to say,
you'll see the active the official Twitter account that updates once every like 9 months.
Did we even talk about the Team Fortress 2 shit that happened? Like the big patch that rolled out like last week? No, actually, yeah, never mind. We didn't have a show last week. But yeah.
I think we did talk about that.
Did we?
2 weeks ago. I think we did.
It's like literally it was just
Here's
people
something, yeah.
speculating for like a month and a half about what was going to be in that patch. That was all it was.
Well, yeah, and then I guess that explains it. All right, moving on. Olympic Committee lays out expectations for esports inclusion. Hey, you think they're gonna have USADA for esports if it's an Olympic sport? Like no modafinil,
Yeah,
like no
let's-
nootropics. You can't use nootropics. You can't use Adderall.
There
gonna need
actually
it.
sort of is, depending on what game, because
Really?
that got stupidly overblown in Counter-Strike for a while. So actually, if you are a Counter-Strike professional, some events do drug testing,
Dude, I
which I
can
think
tell
is so
you,
dumb.
If you are playing against someone who's jacked up on Adderall, like if you're the same skill level, but someone's jacked up on Adderall, they're going
But
to
what
be
if they have-
marginally better than you.
What if they have ADHD? Then you're discriminating against people that have
There,
Then
no,
you
you
can't
like
be
yeah. If you do have that,
esports.
you take it out. Like it's weird. Like because there is also a different thing where like at that skill level, is it enough? You know what I mean? So like there have
I
been
don't know.
professionals have spoken out on both sides, like in the CS:GO scene, because like even ones who have taken it said they probably wouldn't take it again. Because the downside of that too, though, is, I mean, it depends. Obviously, it's a controlled substance. It depends on what you take. There is a time limit on how long it's going to be effective for keeping you at that effective level, and you have to also think, okay, this is a tournament. You're there at 9 in the morning. You're going to be there till 2 a.m. Then you have to sleep and then wake up and do it again the next day.
Yeah.
So
I
like
don't know, man.
it is going against
That
that
sounds
too.
exactly
of like,
what Adderall would be best at, though.
I was about to say, Jerry, I don't know if you've ever taken a 30 milligram pill of Adderall before or not.
That's exactly what
I've taken a
for.
30, but I'm saying a 10, extended is not going to do that for you.
No, they're
Yeah,
probably
no, it's not.
railing
But
like
a 30
12 they're probably railing 30s before these tournaments. I don't know. I'm thinking it like that. Like if it's an Olympic sport, there has to be. Well, let's read this here. Do we know what some of these expectations are? Like what?
See, that's where it gets weird too, though, because there have been organizations trying to do that, especially on player union type fronts and things like that. And I don't think this is going to happen.
Well,
Like, if I'm being completely honest, this ain't going to happen. It's mostly due to esports is a wild west, and there have been groups trying to come up with forms of regulation. The biggest problem is now there's a couple, but everyone hates each other, especially game developers. Like, that's the biggest thing is like tournament organizers kind of work together depending on the tournament organizer, but especially like if this is trying to say broad blanket esports, there has to be something for all of them. Never going to happen. Like Riot hates Blizzard hates Valve hates Riot. Like it's the game developers hate each other. Like the players and like organizations can't even come together to make unions, and they've been trying for years. Like I just don't see that happening.
Well,
It's not anytime soon.
Not only that, but it just says in the article that 2 months ago, the IOC president Thomas Bach called out video games as about violence, explosion, and killing. And if you know anything about the good esports, all of those have violence and killing. So what? I guess the only Olympic esport game is going to be Rocket League.
Yeah, maybe.
No, you could definitely have like League of Legends in there for sure.
No, you're killing.
It's violence.
Yeah, you're having a.
Yeah, but it's like
not a human, but it's still a
yeah, but it's
troll
fantasy.
monster beating the shit out of
It's
something
not like
else with a
Counter-Strike.
giant
Some
piece of
little
ice.
girl,
Yeah.
some little girl with a teddy bear just beating the shit out of her with a club.
Yeah, but it's not like Counter-Strike where it's like, or Call of Duty where it's like
it's not
you
realistic
have, like,
violence.
terrorists.
True,
yeah.
but I mean, it's also you're still like the hypest moment is still when someone's screaming pentakill.
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 They killed everybody on the other team.
Kill-tacular.
The IOC
Combo breaker.
the IOC's been in hot water for some time now because they have big problems
FIFA?
with their sports, and they're losing a lot of these. They're losing a lot of trust, and a lot of people our age and the younger generations aren't getting into sports, traditional sports. They're playing esports, or they're just not playing sports at all. Like sports is like it's starting to really lose market share, and if they want to figure out a way to capitalize on that, they're gonna have to bring in esports. There's no way. And to be honest, money talks. They can talk about all this violence, explosions, and killing that they want, but once they see how much money that this can actually bring in, if they can legitimize it, if they can figure out a way to regulate it the way that it needs to be regulated, this could be a big cash cow for them.
Yeah, they want to talk
Money
about violence.
money talks.
They want to
Shot
talk about.
put walks. All right, nobody gives a fuck about shot put anymore.
I'm just saying they want to talk about violence in video games, and I think this past weekend there was 4 different fights and 4 different NFL games.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but NFL's not in the Olympics.
sport.
Is MMA
Just
in the
Greco-Roman
Olympics yet?
wrestling, yes.
No,
Is
there's only
MMA in the
wrestling-
Olympics yet?
Wrestling and boxing. No, MMA will never be in the Olympics.
No,
No.
like
Well, I never say never, but I don't
Yeah.
think it will.
no, I would see that happening.
Your Olympic Dota 2 champions.
If they wanted to
that's-
make money, they would bring in MMA and they would bring in esports, because those are the 2 premier sports in the world right now: is esports and MMA. That's it.
Esports is weird though too, and MMA is to an extent. 'cause,
Esports
like-
is very weird because you have developers who can change things and fuck things around. They
Yeah.
They need regulations on them. That's the only way they would do it.
Even what I was going is even both of those, especially esports, is even weirder money wise. Because there is a lot of money in esports. It's still pennies compared to NFL, and like NBA, any of these other things. It's pennies, dude.
Yeah,
And that's the crazy side to me, where like you can show an esport event that, you know, had more viewers than the NBA finals.
Yeah.
And it's still worth less. That's where I think could get interesting, is the money's really starting to go there finally.
They need stadiums.
And let's see how that goes.
They need regular game time. They need TV. They need bigger sponsors. And then they'll get there. They'll definitely get there. I don't think money is going to be an issue for esports. It's figuring out like the regulations to making like some type of standards board, figuring out the way that they can create like distribution, like New York League of Legends versus the New Jersey Titans. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that would really help esports as well, especially bringing in stadiums and stuff.
It's still going to be a ways away just because of the internet. Yeah. Because we were just talking about the last episode, because it's getting like internet problems and things like that. But I mean, that is the goal. Like, don't get me wrong, I want that to happen. It's still we're a ways out from that.
When do you get schools giving scholarships for esports?
Yeah, I'd say a few years. We'll start to see it really start developing in a few years. Another thing too, though, is like the gaming world is super toxic. So
yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't know how many sponsors are gonna want to deal with the toxicity of gaming. You know,
that's the cool thing, though.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
Red Bull for one.
Yeah, well, Red Bull
that's been along forever.
Red Bull sponsors fucking everything.
Anything.
You ever see a Red Bull sponsored like Flutog, where they throw the fucking things off the?
You mean drunken suicide?
What do you think would be like a weird, cool, non-endemic sponsor?
Weird, cool, non-endemic sponsor?
That was like big.
Dial soap.
Okay.
No, I would say like I don't know, like vaping companies could do something like that, like Cutwood sponsoring a team like that. You know what I mean?
Not enough money.
Because not enough money.
Well, no, what I was going to say is
makes?
not enough. In comparison, I was going to say is, dude, all I'm saying is there's a
team. You don't think Cutwood can have a team?
I mean, they could, but not what I'm talking about. Like, what I mean is like non-endemic sponsors. Like, all right, there's multiple Counter-Strike teams with Visa sponsorships. There's one that's literally sponsored by Audi and has Audi logos on all of their
I was gonna say
now.
that next car sponsors.
Yeah,
car sponsors.
Like that's where we're finally getting in.
They're already in it, pretty much, like Asus and all them.
Did you guys know that Total Biscuit actually owned a Korean StarCraft 2 team?
Yeah, Axiom.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that interview with H3H3, which
that's something else, dude. That's now free to play.
Super.
Yeah.
That's coming up in the news.
You
real quick. Thanks for ruining it.
No, it wasn't.
Real quick on
you
this
covered all the
topic
most of the stuff. Now that one. Oh, you did.
Like real quick on the sponsorship thing, just real quick. Not in terms of players or teams, but I mean, you do have like Nintendo sponsors these Smash Brothers tournaments, like the big majors. They actually sponsor them and promote them and stuff.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like, but that's what I was saying. Like non-endemic, because those are all endemic. Like the game, like
Evil Geniuses, but that's not that's an endemic.
Right. Well, that would be an organization, but I mean, like, you know, like the computer sponsorships, that's endemic because you play it on the computer. Like all of like the tournament organizers and stuff like that.
Coca-Cola come out, KFC come out,
and and that's the cool thing is with CS:GO, you work for a little bit. We'll see if that actually continues, but like that's what needs to start happening for it to be really getting on those levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need those, and you need to like really hype the players as well. Like NFL, everyone like they just like did a feature of Jarvis Landry, and you know they need to do that with the players, like feature them, and you know do like some type of Cribs episode with you know what I mean, like stuff like that where people are like, oh, this is my favorite player, and you know stuff like that.
It's like why I'm going to be sitting here at 8:30 watching Lions versus Packers.
Yeah, like a lot of the like NBA stars are investing their money into like competitive teams.
Yeah, well, that's actually now gonna be all of Riot's League of Legends series is basically half of its NBA teams and then
our owners essentially. They're owners of the team.
Yeah,
but I mean, you think they might
that's the downside though of non-endemic sponsors, because I'm still a little salty about that, because that is really cool. These are now the teams, you know, like it's literally, you know, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have a team now.
When does
like,
Jerry
stuff like
Jones
that.
buy a esports team?
Right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's where that's why I don't like franchising as much, because it's just like, all right, cool. You just also kicked out teams that have literally given you millions of dollars for the last couple of years
Yeah.
because this guy's
Yeah.
got more money. And I'm like, that is capitalism. But at the same time, like,
Then you're gonna
okay.
get trading. You're gonna get all the fun things that major sports have. Moving if they want to do it by city, then you're gonna have teams that just up and move. I mean, it's just
But
sports.
they still have to like figure out the framework too. Like,
Oh yeah,
you can't
Yeah,
have
and
all these
it's
different
it's
games.
really young.
They need
And
like
well,
a
yeah.
couple, like they need like a really popular. They need like an NFL, like an entire
Well,
organization that plays one game that has all
that's-
the stuff, and
that-
then everyone rallies behind.
That's what I think
The
E-League's trying to
LCS?
do. No, dude, that's what I think E-League's trying to do with like TPS. I think that's why they got into it. Because okay, they brought in CS:GO. That was their first big thing. They've been doing Street Fighter tournaments too, and they are running some Overwatch tournaments and stuff. Like I think they're trying to turn into ideally that encompassment
commissioner,
of like all of the games, because that is the other problem of esports is a game's got a 10-year shelf life.
Right.
Like
Mhm.
you can patch it up as much as you want to, even competitively, it's going to have a 10-year shelf life.
Yeah.
So like that's why I think they're trying. That's what I think their goal is they started with CS:GO, but they've only been adding things onto that.
Yeah,
All
I mean, like was it this year we had Evo on ESPN2? I think we had.
Yeah.
But
yes,
that's
Yeah.
one major out of it's the biggest fighting game tournament, but there's no others that are being aired.
All right,
Well,
let's
yeah,
move
but
on.
at
We
the
got a
same
lot
time,
of
you-
news.
Yeah.
Let's move
Okay,
on.
I was gonna say you also used to have Heroes of the Dorm on ESPN. So
What the fuck is that? All right, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp mobile gameplay, microtransaction details, and how to play it. I'm interested in this. I think this looks cool. I saw some gameplay footage. But I want to see the microtransaction stuff. I didn't hear about that. Do you know where that is in here, Loco?
Yeah, just keep scrolling down, and one of the questions under
I see it. Okay.
Tom is does Animal Crossing
Does it have
Yeah.
microtransactions? Yes, it does.
can I use my amiibos with this?
No.
This is actually a legitimate question, because yes,
No,
I do.
you cannot.
Those are the only amiibos I have are for Animal Crossing.
No, you cannot.
You can use currency to supplement your supply of resources for building furniture or speeding up the construction of amenities. So it's sort of like the Farmville shit, where it's like you build a house and it takes like 3 days, or you could pay a nickel and speed it up. But I'm sure it'll be like
That-
$1.
I think that's a little bit better though in Animal Crossing, just because Animal Crossing always has been that game that, hey dude,
You gotta
this is
wait
gonna
a
take-
day.
Yeah, this
You
is
are
actually
waiting
going
a
to take a
literal
day, no matter
week.
what. Yeah,
Now this is like Animal Crossing is probably the perfect like mobile title that Nintendo can put
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, because it has always had that built-in time restriction. Because
Mhm.
like I put down Animal Crossing New Leaf a while ago, like a year ago or so, and I always get an urge to play it again. I'm like, you know what? I want to start over fresh and play Animal Crossing again. But the thing is I know that I'm gonna have to invest 2 weeks into playing that fucking game before I can even get anywhere to where I want to be.
Don't
So I
forget
have
to pay off your debt to Tom Nook
Yeah, dude, I gotta pay off that fucking debt
with
Like,
microtransactions.
the other
Oh.
thing that I'm wondering about too is, can you still you're not going to be able to time spoof it in this game either
Yeah, no.
It's connected
with
to
mobile.
fucking-
Yeah, you can't just be like, yeah, dude, it's Halloween right now. I just
Yeah.
want this free
They-
loot.
They kind of found out from Super Mario Run, while some people really liked it, $10 in the mobile marketplace is too much money for people to spend. They don't want to spend
Yeah, that's why you give
$10
it to
on a
them for
game.
free, and then you make them pay $10.99 at a time.
That's why Fire Emblem Heroes has made them a lot more money than Mario has on mobile.
Yeah. This is the kind of game that does really well on mobile. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not mad at it if Nintendo's behind it and they're really making a good game out of it.
I mean, if it's
Yeah,
fair,
dude,
if
if it's
it's a
good-
game you don't have to pay money and still can enjoy, like I have with Fire Emblem, then I have no problem with it. I think it's great.
If this is a legit, I still haven't
Yes.
watched the gameplay footage for it, but if it was a legitimate Animal Crossing game,
I'm playing
I'd
it.
play it.
Yep. That's
it's
what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Watch the gameplay. It's legit. There's all.
yeah. No,
type
it
of
looked
shit.
legit.
Yeah.
So like, I'm excited for this because if it ends up basically being Animal Crossing, yeah, I'm playing it.
It almost looks like 3DS graphics, like the Nintendo 3DS, which I'm like, I'm cool with that. Like, it's not a game. Animal Crossing was never a game you go, the graphics.
Yeah, you need that hyper realism to see my fucking
Attention.
weird.
Goddamn GameSpot autoplay gets me every time. It sneaks
you-
up on you.
You moved over to the Football Manager one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaks up on you. All right, let's talk about this one. This one's interesting. Football Manager 2018 will allow players to come out as gay. You hear that, Doobie?
Okay.
What the fuck? What?
Just hit him while he's muted.
No,
I mean, cool for them. I mean, it's better than how Kevin Spacey did it.
Yup.
God damn.
Yup.
It's very true. What if,
No,
what
I mean-
if this is how Kevin Spacey did it? He came out as gay in Football Manager 2018.
The live stream.
No, you just play it and it's Kevin Spacey comes out and tells you he's gay.
Oh God.
No, the thing is I don't know, man. Like, in my opinion, this is the kind of stuff that.
Why is this news?
Yeah,
I'll
well,
tell you
no,
why.
not only that, but like this is the kind of stuff. Like, this is what draws negative attention. It's like nobody cares. It's like anybody who
You
I
would
don't
be
know.
surprised though, because they say here in this article, the move is a particular note since there are currently no openly gay professional footballers in any of the world's major leagues, and homophobia remains an issue in the sport around the globe. So
Yeah.
homophobia and racism are huge
in soccer.
It's insane. Like
Yeah,
there was that
'cause
one documentary where they showed, I forget who they were playing, but it was a black team, and they played someone, I think in Germany, and they hung one of the black players from the bleachers, and it was like this whole thing. And there's a documentary about it on HBO. You can go check it out. I forget the name of it, but I'm sure it's easy to Google. So and this is
Germany,
and this
really?
was, I don't know if it was Germany, but it was something like, it was a country, might have been Germany. But this is a problem that they have. So this is actually pretty cool that they're doing this, since, like they were saying, there are no openly gay players in any of the leagues. There's so many different leagues, dozens of them in soccer. It's really bad in some areas, you know.
Yeah. It did say though that like any real world players aren't, if they're not gay, they're not going to turn them gay.
Yeah, it says new gens. So,
But
it's
I
basically
get
like,
I do get what you're saying. Like on the global scale, there are definitely some people who there's definitely still a decent amount of people in the world who are very dead set on the nuclear family is the only way. So I get that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, some of these countries, they're not very developed, but they still have soccer teams, you know, and they put them in these games. So when they see something like that, it could be interesting. So someone like us, where we're a progressive country, are like, who cares? But you know, somewhere like I don't know where it's bad, but
We play South Park, where you can not only select your gender and your sex and
You
your
have to do,
sexuality.
like 3 quests to do it.
Yep.
That was great by that. Oh crap.
Yeah.
I wonder
It's
if
Mr.
being
Garrison
gay
never
would
changed.
make like if you could like turn your football player gay, and if he would like have better like kits or something, like better outfits, and if he was like had like a really nice house, like his house is like clean, you know. Or if he came at
He gets an extra fabulous rating.
All right, moving on. Go ahead. I don't have anything else to say about this.
Everything else. No, I was just gonna say that you were talking about how they're really harsh about it in soccer, and like, well, not really the racism part, but I guess the sexuality part they're really strict about, and it's probably the most effeminate game out there, where somebody can basically like brush into somebody with their finger and they're gonna flop.
All dramatically.
So, yeah, all dramatic. It's like they have better thespian actors than a
Yeah.
show on Broadway, if you get my drift.
I'm
But-
100% sure, and they're gay football players. They just haven't come out.
Yeah,
100%.
no, obviously.
And I'm looking at
I mean,
you,
the
Ronaldo.
statistics, just statistically speaking,
Yeah, exactly.
there has to be a couple.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
In every sport.
Yeah. Like, What is it? What's the statistics? Like 1 out of every 5 or 1 out of every? I think it's actually like 1 out of every 3 men.
Really? It's that high?
I think that's what it is. It's either
Or
3
is it
or
1
5.
out of every 3 soccer players?
No. Yeah, I mean, if statistics were, yeah. So. Let me look that. Let me find that.
All right, you get this. You get us those statistics on how many gay people are in the world, and Hearthstone Kobolds and Catacombs expansion coming in December.
Okay, welcome to the BlizzCon.
BlizzCon news.
Basically.
I don't know. I don't really play Hearthstone. Anything else to say about this? Excited about it? This game looks boring as all fuck. I don't know how people play
No, dude, it used to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it used to be a lot of fun. I'm not excited about the expansion whatsoever, even in the slightest, but I am excited about the new mode that they have coming out, the Dungeon Run mode.
Yeah.
That is going to be free, so it's not going to be like Arena where you have to pay to play it. But the Dungeon Run mode will be like you start off, which I'm guessing
it's like their adventures too, I think, right?
Yeah, it's like you start off with a basic like pre-built deck, and it's like a roguelike experience where you use that deck and you'll play one of the randomly selected bosses, and if you beat them, you get to pick like 1 or 2 of their cards and put it into your deck, and you just keep going until you die. And once you lose your run, and you can start another run. But the thing is I wonder if is there going to be any reward? Are there going to be any rewards for that?
There
if
has
not,
to be. It's going to be a classic pack.
Yeah, something. I mean, if it gives you,
it's going to be the classic pack after they also announce more nerfs to anything that's good in classic.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the basic cards. Yeah, that's when I quit Hearthstone, dude. That's when I quit.
Is that what they do? They make like certain sets really good, and then when you find out it's good, that they just nerf them, make them shit.
Well,
it's power creep.
Yeah, it's power creep. So they switched to a new system that you can only use cards that are within the last 2 years of expansions and the first original basic set and the first cards that came out. Now, aka the classic cards. After a while, probably the spring, they nerfed a decent chunk of those cards from the classic set that were basic that you get automatically or very easy to get, because it quote unquote took away too much fun from when there was a new expansion. And I gave up after that. I stopped because it's just like, all right, I get that it's a CCG. You do have to spend a decent amount of money, but there's also a line where it's like, all right, if I have to spend at least $100 to be able to have fun, no.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So just real quick, according to the Gallup, GALLUP.com.
Gallup poll, okay. That's a real poll.
Yeah, in August 2002, among everybody polled, they said that 1 in every 5 about.
That
so if we ever have a co-host or a guest host on, then they're gay.
Or one's gay now, and the one we bring on is straight.
Yeah. No, they're
so
shut up. They're
it?
gay. Yeah,
that's crazy. I didn't know it was that high. That's
insane. It's a pretty high statistic. Like, that's why I just can't believe that it's still an issue with people. But yeah, new Hearthstone, Geomancer, Cobalt, and all that bullshit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I really don't give a fuck anymore. I used to advocate for Hearthstone really hard, and I used to love playing it. And this last expansion, like I haven't even played. I bought like the pre-order of the last expansion because I always buy the pre-order. I'm not buying the pre-order for this one.
No.
I'm not even.
Good for you. Take a
The
stand.
other thing they switched to doing. Yeah, the other thing they switched to doing was, in all of the old ones, it made sense. Okay, they would come out with a new mechanic, and that new mechanic was on a lot of cards. It was on commons. It was on rares. It was on everything. It was a mix. You could spend $20 and still get to learn those new mechanics and have fun with them. The last 2 expansions have gone to, nope, they're
legendaries.
Only on legendaries.
Yep.
And if you want all of them, you're probably gonna have to spend about $500 to try out the entire point of the fucking expansion. That
Yeah.
was
That
like,
sounds
no.
like a blast.
Yeah, they came out with the quest. That's what Jerry's talking about. The quest concept.
Yeah, it was the
of
quest, and
where
now it's the
the heroes.
heroes.
Yeah,
Where you
that
get
are
you
the
get one
dead
free
ones.
one. That's more than they did the one before then, but still, it's like, okay, if you want to play the entire point of the expansion, you got to sink a lot. And it used to be like, cool, you would just get the cards to try out the new mechanics.
Yeah, it'd
Like
be
you
like
would
on some,
be able to earn them freely. Be like, cool, I can have fun with this.
like, do you remember when Whispers of the Old Gods came out and they automatically gave you Cthulhu and
Yeah.
like fucking 6 Cthulhu cards?
Yeah,
Like you could build
Cthulhu.
you can, or yeah, Cthulhu, not Cthulhu. But like you could build like a budget mage Cthulhu deck.
Yeah. Or I mean, like
Immediately.
even like the first one, it was mechs. Like you could mech. Some of the best mech cards were the easiest in the entire game to get. It was the same with all of them. Yeah, like it was the same with all of them though, where it was like you could get the feel and the point of the entire expansion easily. And now it's okay. Now, yeah, the last one, it's like cool.
No.
Everything's based off of this cool hero card that you might barely get, but until you get this one really cool hero card, you're gonna get a bunch of cards that have synergy with that card and are useless otherwise.
Yeah, now every class gets 2 legendaries, an expansion. So yeah.
It's they switched to money grabbing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they've always
kinda-
been money grabbing, but it's like it's more apparent now.
Yeah,
But,
it's a lot more, especially when they're like, on top of that, we're also going to nerf all of the basic good cards.
The thing is out of the pre-pack bonus, I just for some reason the other day I updated Hearthstone. It was probably like a week ago, and I played a little bit of it only because I had gotten the Warlock legendary hero, and you can build a zoo deck with it. And apparently on Tempo Storm, the zoo deck was like tier 2. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just fuck with this for a little bit and play for a little while. And I just have no interest in it anymore. I don't know.
Guess which one I got?
Which one?
I got the Druid.
Oh,
I got
Druid? Isn't that the most
best hero.
powerful one right
Yeah,
now?
I got the best hero. No,
Yep.
like I got literally the best hero out of all of those, and it's still just like that's cool. I don't like this one. This isn't the play style I want to play. To be able to play a play style I want to play, I now have to spend $1 million instead of I can't make a budget. I can't even make a budget version. You just build at least make a budget version to have fun and play with it.
Yeah, apparently that was the most broken, apparently. But yeah, Josh said that he's playing, I think I've seen him playing Elder Scrolls Legends. I kind of want to play that. Not really. I want to play the new Magic the Gathering when it comes out. But yeah, I think I'm done with Hearthstone. I might try out that dungeon mode, though, and see what that's about.
No, don't do it.
No, I'll try that out. Because that was the other thing, too, is they switched to expansions only, and they took out the adventures. And that was the fun... That was the fun computer thing. They did a really cool job with all of those. Those were actually really great, and then they got rid of them.
All right. Overwatch next character is a witchy healer called Moira. DPS and healer, right? Is that what this person is?
Yeah, kinda. I looked at the video, the little theatrical video, and it shows some of her abilities. It looks like she can blink around. She does some AoE. Basically, it looks like she does AoE healing. It's like she's not a single target healer, really.
Yeah, she looks like AoE Zenyatta.
Yeah, pretty much. Like she has a single target heal, but from what I could see, it's mainly AoE healing.
Yeah.
And she has a nice little Lux ult, it looks like, where she just fires this huge beam and it heals the friendlies and damages the enemies.
Yeah,
it looks all right.
Little support class.
Yeah, everybody will still play Mercy though, so.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or Anna, if she ever gets rebuffed.
Yeah,
or even not rebuffed, they'll still play it. Yeah, it seems cool though. Like I'll have to try it out.
I love Overwatch, man. I do think Overwatch is
it's a really good game.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
It's one of the games I'm looking forward to getting back into once I rebuild my PC.
I mean, the cool thing for me about Overwatch 2 is like I was walking up to my apartment yesterday and I could tell the person right underneath me was playing Overwatch on a 50-inch TV.
Nice.
I was like, yeah. That's the impact now.
Not only that, but yeah, Overwatch does have loot boxes, but literally you buy the game once and everything that
It's all cosmetic.
Yeah, it's all cosmetic. So yeah.
World of Warcraft going vanilla with classic server.
And this is what Jerry's gonna be playing
in 2019, probably.
So why do you say it's 2019?
Oh, this is just them announcing they're developing it. Like, this is not an announcement.
Why do they need
it's
to
coming
develop
out soon.
it? Wouldn't they already have it? A game made? If it's vanilla?
Yeah, they have the 2004
textures.
Version. That
So they're making. So I don't understand. What do you mean?
They don't even have the servers they used to run it on. They auctioned all of those away. Like they don't have almost anything from that era. The game's changed so much.
I'm sure that they do have a build of it, but the thing is like
it's a build from 2004.
Yeah, they're gonna since then they've re-updated the textures like 2 times, 3
at least. Yeah. Like
and
they've done a lot of changes, and even to like the mechanics, the way things work in the game, like even some pathing NPCs and stuff like that. So a lot of it's infrastructure side.
And they're all going to push that over into vanilla, or are they going to keep it?
No, it's going to be vanilla. It's going to be vanilla, but they're trying to basically make it play like it's modern. So like it feels as smooth, because also vanilla was fantastic. The launch was buggy beyond bleep. Like, yeah,
but that was the point of vanilla, was all like the bugginess of it. And
nah, dude, the point of it was a great game, and it had a lot. Like, it forced you to be incredibly social and interactive, which is what you want out of an MMO.
Yeah, there was no LFG.
Yeah, like
there was no dungeon finder. You had to find people to do it.
Yeah. And
if you wanted to go do a dungeon, you had to run to the dungeon.
yeah. And like there was a lot more choices, and like the mechanics still felt good. But like, I mean, there were issues with it. Like another thing they're trying to fix is like, all right, back then you had one city for each side that an auction house was in. So everyone was always in that city, and you could barely walk through it because of how many people were in that city, causing it to lag out. They're trying to fix things like on that side too. Like it used to be a big, huge thing where like we called it lag forge. You couldn't go there. Like you had to put effort into basically going to the main city. There used to be major issues where like once you killed something, you'd go to loot it and you just sit there for probably about a good solid 10 seconds, just kneeling down, trying to pick up the items and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of things like that they're trying to fix.
If Jerry rolls Horde, I'll play.
I'm playing both probably.
Yeah. If Jerry rolls Horde, I'll probably play.
You think
like,
I just can't wait. I just can't wait to roll that hunter so I can use my mana and not get a bow until I'm level 20.
Yep, and then have to buy your arrows and craft them. And oh yeah.
Do you guys think a lot of people are going to play this?
Oh yeah.
I think this is a huge thing, especially since like this, all the classic WoW servers that exist now and all the nostalgia servers, like Blizzard has been shutting those servers down for years now and not offering any kind of alternative. And everybody, I believe that everybody on those servers will buy a WoW subscription just to play it. Yeah, through them.
And there's, I mean, I don't know how big it'll get, and it'll probably die off. It'll probably die off really quickly, but
over the one that's modern now, that's because it's constantly getting updated.
Nostalgia,
it's really different. Yeah, it's a really different game.
Yeah, it's
like there have been so many features added that some people don't like. Well, like there's looking for group, there's looking for raid. The classes are almost, they're not completely different, but in a lot of ways they are completely different.
Yeah.
They've been pruned and changed.
They get completely times. A lot of times they're completely different from patch to they're different from patch to patch now. Not even expansion to expansion. Like one patch you'll be like, oh, I'm playing this. Well, I'm going to use Hunter again as an example. It's like, okay, so I'm playing Marksman Hunter right now, and I'm just like,
you can't have a pet.
Just fucking shit up, but I got no pet. I'm fucking shit up with my bow, and then the next patch they're like, okay, well, survival is probably a little bit better this patch. And you're like, okay, so now I'm a hunter again, except I don't even have a fucking bow. I have like a fucking glaive, and still got no pet really, and I'm just throwing traps everywhere. But yeah, it is extremely different. Not only that, but like classic, I think people forget classic. Like vanilla WoW is a hard fucking game.
That too.
It is not an easy game.
That's why I never got into WoW.
Yeah, like the new WoW. Like the new WoW is like, it's easy as fuck. It's like basically you're on rails until you hit max level.
Yeah, unless you're doing Mythic, I mean, even heroics pretty much a cakewalk, and like all raids. Like it's a little hard, but if you have the right gear and if you're like know what you're doing, you can still do it pretty well.
Yeah,
Mythic's a challenge, but it's such a challenge. It's not even worth it for the most part.
Yeah,
like
no,
some
that,
of the
but
high ones aren't worth it because your gear's just gonna fucking Titan Forge anyways. And from heroics, so you're like, cool, I'm wasting my time.
Not only that, but that's end game content. That's like you're getting pretty end game at that point. Vanilla WoW starts beating your ass down within like the first 5 levels.
Yeah, it's like cool, dude. Thanks for playing for like 7 months. You finally got level 60.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, dude, we just boosted you to 10 levels away from the max, and you're gonna get there in 2 days. And if you want to just start, you can get full heirlooms. And if you spend like a good week, you'll get there. I mean, you can make it. I think like you can make it there actually, honestly, in 5 hours if you really wanted to. But yeah,
because like fucking Jerry knows. It's like one weekend I started playing when Legion came out, and I made like a demon hunter, and I was max level in like 2 days. It was ridiculous. But yeah, Vanilla WoW is fucking hard. That's why a lot of people miss it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's that, but it forced. Yeah, it was the community was just completely different. There was a community. You had to get into like guilds and like actually talk with everyone. Everyone was always talking because you had to do that to even do a dungeon. And some quests were harder. So it's like, hey, if this says it's a quest suggested for 2 people, you actually need that second person.
Yeah, you need 3 people.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to have expansions for the vanilla server?
Dude,
I don't know,
and
I'm okay if they do.
They just
to
like
be
went
honest.
back in time and just re-released.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it up to an extent.
But then it would turn into what it is now, right?
Me and Jerry were actually
like
talking
17
about
years.
We were talking about that. I would not mind. Like Jerry wanted one more expansion than I did, but I wouldn't mind if they released Vanilla and Burning Crusade, and then after that, I don't want any more.
I'd be okay with them going up to Wrath. But even the first 2 were the best, and Wrath was still great, and then Kata. That's when I.
Do you think you just have like you're just romanticizing that period of time? You know what I mean?
Oh, it's partially that, yeah.
Too.
But there's the systems of it too. Like it is a completely different game, and a lot of people really want that.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's not only that you're looking back through rose-tinted glasses. Like you could,
because that is there,
yeah. Like we could go back right now and like find a server somewhere that's like, or some bootleg server that's playing Vanilla WoW right now, and we can go play it right now if we want to. But it's just the fact that you're on like an actual Blizzard server that's actually Blizzard supported, and they're not going to shut it down randomly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people have been wanting this for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I heard there was like a WoW vanilla. I remember getting shut down not too long ago. I think we talked about one of them.
That happened because originally Nostalrius was the big one for about a year, and that got shut down. And Blizzard actually invited that team over to go to Blizzard to talk to them about how did they get it up and running, because they actually had it running smoothly.
Because the other thing too, over to threaten them.
Yeah,
they better pay
and like they
well.
actually ended up talking a bit, and then that switched to Exorcist or something, some other Russian server, because they switched from France because France kind of kicked them out after DCMA, and then that ended up getting shut down, and then this got announced, but we probably still won't see it for a while. Yeah,
cool.
But yeah, I'm stoked on that. I'm stoked on the new expansion too. I'll still play that, but yeah.
All right, moving on. Super Mario Odyssey sold over 2 million copies, being one of the. Is it the?
It's the Nintendo came out and said that it's the fastest selling Mario game ever.
Yeah, I believe it. There's a lot of hype going into this one. That's cool. That's awesome. It's crazy how fast the Switch has grown into this powerhouse console.
They've upped their
with 2 games. They only have 2 games.
Don't forget.
Think about that.
Don't forget Splatoon did very well.
Splatoon.
Very big in Japan.
3 games.
Japan loves that goddamn
3
franchise.
Games. 3 games.
I
love
don't forget
I'm a
Arms.
Splatoon head, okay?
Don't forget Arms. You can't forget
fuck
Arms.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never heard that in my life.
That game was pretty bad.
And that's what you get for downloading digitally.
Pretty bad.
Physical.
pretty bad. I played that game literally one time. Literally once. And
Dude,
I
was
never
it as
played
bad
again.
as 1-2 Switch?
You
I didn't
remember?
play 1-2 Switch. Never
Oh
played
man,
it.
that game was a fucking joke.
You remember, like right before it came out, we were all debating if it was going to be like an esport. Nope. And I was like, no, the motion controls, never.
And yet Splatoon 2's last tournament was on the front page of Twitch. That became the actual esport game.
No, I'm a Splatoon head, dude. I
love that
I'm
game.
a believer. Me too. It's fun. I would say it's more fun. Nah, it's not more fun than Super Mario Odyssey. What am I saying? What am I saying?
When you have friends that are playing with you, I can see it being as fun.
It's fucking fun, dude. It's definitely a fun game. But anyways, Super Mario Odyssey, 2 million copies, cool. Moving on. StarCraft 2 is going free to play, which is dope in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't buy StarCraft 2. I didn't buy any of them, but I enjoyed playing the original StarCraft. Wait for Jerry to sit back down on this one. All right, so we're talking about StarCraft 2 getting free to play now, Jerry. I didn't buy StarCraft 2. I didn't buy any of the campaigns, but I like playing StarCraft, the original. I'm going to play it now because the first campaign will be free. The other two, I think you're going to have to pay like $15 to unlock them.
Really?
Each. Yeah. The first campaign's free, but the next two are $15
But
each.
you can play online
$14.99.
for free though, right?
Yeah.
I'm bummed because I bought the first one. Seriously, I own the first one. I don't own the expansions.
I bought StarCraft 2 when it first came out, and I played it for a little bit. Me and my brother played it, and then my account got hacked or something, and I couldn't get into my account, and I couldn't play it anymore because Blizzard wouldn't give me my account back. I showed them proof of purchase.
Nope, they won't do that
Blizzard,
for that,
dude.
No, it is a little weird with that, but it's a love-hate because you do have to trust Blizzard, but Blizzard's really good with security if you trust them. Because if your account does get hacked or something, or is like gone, like you have to send them your driver's license. Like that's how you get your account back for like anything, which is like kind of scummy, but at the same time, it's like,
I mean, I guess
kind of cool at the same time.
I guess I could send them my driver's license to get that game back if I really wanted to. But if it's going free to play, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.
I did buy it though, but whatever. I don't know. I love StarCraft though. StarCraft 2 I didn't get too into.
I think
as much as I did the first StarCraft. The first StarCraft, I played that game so much, probably more than I played any other game. But StarCraft 2 just felt. I don't know. How would you explain StarCraft 2 versus StarCraft? It was just different. It was just...
Well, like I said, I haven't played StarCraft 2, but I don't know. People still...
it's like the differences between classic WoW and modern WoW. Like, no, really, because like...
I think that's exactly what it is.
It is, because like it's StarCraft 2, it was modern day Blizzardified, if that makes sense, versus the old one. Some of the mechanics changed, but for the most part, a lot of them are simplified. They're easier. They feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like it's easier build paths for some things like that, where it does feel a little different. And especially if you're really sold on that first system, it feels a little wonky.
Mm-hmm.
Still feels great, but yeah.
When StarCraft was like at the height of its peak, I think like that at that time, gaming was like in a different area. Where like once StarCraft 2 came out, like people got really good really quickly, and like there was like all different types of strategies to use to beat people. And I wasn't that heavy into StarCraft 2, and I wasn't about to spend all that time to get into it. And a lot of those old strategies didn't really carry over. And I think that's why I didn't get too into StarCraft 2. It's just like, I don't know, I remember just like playing like hours and hours of StarCraft against just like people that wouldn't even speak English. It's like Korean kids that were just like, they were so good and so fast, but I was able to keep up with them because I played for so long, and I was able to. I knew the strategies they were going for. Where this one, it felt like a lot of that changed, a lot of it got streamlined, and I just didn't feel like taking the time to learn a new StarCraft because it takes fucking forever to get that good.
Well, not only that, but like I believe StarCraft is definitely one of those games that is age dependent. I'm at my current age, like I think that I'm too old to get good at that game. Like I could never be good at StarCraft 2, like starting right now. I could probably get to be okay, but it's just too fast mechanically. But I will play that shit for free though.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I didn't buy it, because when it came out, I was like, all right, I'm getting to that level where I couldn't keep up.
You can't do 400 actions per minute. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I couldn't keep up with that. So either I can pay $60 and just feel like a fucking piece of shit, or
you could, but you would just
bought
need to
StarCraft
spend so much time on getting that good. Like it takes so long. And like when I was a kid, I had nothing but time. You know what I mean?
True.
I was playing, and StarCraft was a lot. It was just different. So you could keep up with like the Russians and you keep up with the Koreans. Where StarCraft 2, if you weren't actively keeping up and trackings and managements and stuff like that, you would just get blown out of the water every time.
We should actually play that sometime, because one of the cool things for us now older folks, and they added in StarCraft 2, is like the co-op stuff. Yeah. That stuff's actually pretty cool. Like there's things like that we should try.
We should all do a big game hunters no rush 20.
No rush. Yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I also totally bought StarCraft 2 for the campaign. Like
the
that's
first
something.
One was awesome.
Yeah, Blizzard, the way they do storytelling has always just suckered me. Like I always end up buying their games, even if it's just to play through campaigns.
Back in the day, their cutscenes were just like groundbreaking CGI, and you look at it now, you're just
still
like,
are, dude. Yeah.
Except if you're Diablo 3, then the storytelling fucking blows dick.
What happened?
The cutscenes are still good though.
Yeah,
not sure.
I mean, check out that new expansion trailer. Is all I'm saying. If you want to like see the pinnacle of 3D CGI, basically.
Yeah, they always got like the top guys over there. Anyways, moving on to tech news. A lot of news. NVIDIA's GTX 1070 is arriving next week at $450. We were talking about this earlier. This makes no sense to buy. It makes no sense to buy.
It's just why. Well, it does in some ways, but not many.
Why? What way?
Very, very few.
Way? Unless you specifically couldn't spend the extra $50.
It's that, but it's okay. Overclocked, you can hit it to be as good as 1080s, and most of the bargain 1080s, you can overclock this better than you can overclock those.
Yeah, but you're still.
But it's still in that why.
Yeah, like
why does this exist?
You could spend $50 more, you get a 1080,
and get a 1080,
and then overclock that. Because if you're
right. What I'm saying is like it has been showing that some of them are overclocking better than like an MSI Armor. Like if that makes sense, like the lower end 1080s, it can match that overclocked.
Right.
But it's not going to touch like an SC2. It's not going to touch an FTW. Like
I believe, like I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't get why this is a product.
Yeah, I also don't get it because I mean, if you were wanting to go the more bargain high end route and just get a regular 1070, I understand that.
Right.
But if you're trying to,
I don't even get that right now just because of the pricing market too. That's the other thing. If they would have hit this at 430, would have made more sense. Because right now it's coming out at 450, so they're selling at 480. The 1070 is still selling at 400. You're gonna want to buy this or a 1080. The 1080, it's still like if it's in that $100 and sometimes less bracket where it's just like buy a 1080 every time. Like just spend the extra $50.
Yeah,
always.
You can, or you could also just spend an extra like $100 and get a 1080 FTW edition that's fucking already overclocked and.
And if you're spending that much money, chances are you're looking at like a higher end GPU. So you could just go 1080 Ti.
Even that, but I mean, that was my thought.
You're almost there at 1080 Ti.
That's why my thought is like right now in the current market, buy a 1080. Because like if you're gonna spend if you're already gonna spend $400 at least, or like you're going up to like 450, or like just spend 500.
I would disagree and say just get the 1080 Ti or get the 1070. That would be my area. I would either go way up there, high range, get the 1080 Ti. If you're looking at 1070 Ti's or 1080s, just save the extra cash, get the 1080 Ti, or go down and get the
1070 right now, dude. Not until it goes back down in price. Like, because they're still selling for over 400, so they're still like, it's one of those like, spend the extra $20.
Let's see,
Like once they start going back down under 400 massively, yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah, let's see how much a Founders Edition is. Founders Edition Ti or 1070. Yeah, it's about $400 right now.
Yeah.
You can get
Like-
ones for cheaper, but $400. Or you can get Founders Edition 1080 Ti, and you're spending $550. So $150 more. You're getting
For a TI?
Yeah, you're getting
Oh.
the
Yeah, okay.
graphics card.
I didn't
to
even
get.
realize the TI dropped all the way to 550.
Yeah, you can get a Founders Edition at.
Sure, that's not a 1080?
Oh, that is a 1080. I lied.
I was gonna say.
I'm looking
Okay.
at it.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, what?
No,
For $579, you can also get an EVGA 1080 for the Win Gaming.
Yeah.
FTW.
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah, for like
I don't
$100
know.
That's
more,
what I was
you
saying,
can
it's
get a
like if
card
they-
that's just a lot better.
If they would have hit 430, it would have made more sense. But starting
Someone's
it at
gonna buy this stupid.
it's starting it at 450, so it's selling at 480. Well, I've been seeing a lot of people are saying like, yeah, why would you ever buy a 1080 now? And I'm just like, well, it's because of the current pricing. Like you could buy a 1080 for this price. Like you can go to Build a PC sales and you can find 1080s dropping to $480.
Mm-hmm.
Like just overclock it then. Like
Yeah, I don't know.
even in the long run, that's a better bet then because it does have better like more shaders and it has GDR5X instead of just GDR5.
Yeah, and
Like
that
that's a
makes
better
difference.
long-term bet anyway.
Yeah, it definitely makes the difference too.
Like the only thing is like it was meant to compete with Vega, which Vega killed itself, and now you're like, I just still don't get why this card exists. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless you want the best mining card ever. That's
don't know
about all
either.
this is.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but I think
Which,
they
I mean,
just
that's
do it just to
why-
do it. You
That's
know?
why this card costs so much too.
Well, dude,
Because
it's
it's a mining card.
no, because they're too late. Like this is meant to compete with the Vega 56, which like that's the good Vega card. But at the same time, you're like, I don't get it, dude.
They're just
like, it's
offering
such a-
price points. That's
Yeah.
all they're doing.
And then on top
If
of
you
it's the
can't
thing that
spend
you,
the extra money, the extra $50, then you can go with this one. If you can't spend the extra whatever, then you go with this one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
or
and
if
that's
you have
but
the
you also have to
$50,
remember
then
you have
get
to
this one.
overclock it. If you're gonna overclock it, you have to overclock it. None of these
Well-
cards can be overclocked by the afterboard manufacturers, which is dumb.
What I don't understand is I know you're talking about price point, but the thing is if you're building something to put this in there, then it's going to be high end enough anyway that your ass can wait literally one more paycheck
Yeah.
and upgrade. You know what I mean? If the gap is that small, that minute, if you're sacrificing like
That's what I'm saying. Go just
like
go with
a
the high
year,
end.
if you're sacrificing like a year to 2 years of being relevant for $50 right now, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Why?
saying. It doesn't make any sense. Or you just
Why?
go
Just
lower
wait.
end and you just get a nice fucking beast machine that it's just not high end. You know what I mean? Like the 1070s and even the 1060s, they're great cards, especially for most people's needs. The
Yeah.
only reason you would get this is if you were in that higher range and you were looking at the 1080 Ti, but maybe you just didn't have the cash at the time and you just splurged. You're like, fuck it, I'm getting the 1070 Ti. And
I've
then
thought about
as
it
soon
'cause
as you get
I
home,
wanted this
you're like,
card to
God
be good."
damn, I wish I had the 1080 Ti as soon as you got home. Because like that's the thing with PC building too. Nothing's ever enough. You always want the next best thing, you know? So you might as well try to get up there. But I don't know, at least they're offering price points, I guess. It's not like they're taking anything
Sorta,
away.
yeah. It's like because I was hoping this would also be a better competitor or like fit a better price bracket. Because then it would make more sense. Because I was hoping this card would be good because I still want to upgrade myself. And I'm sitting looking at this like, I'll just buy a 1080.
Yeah, I don't think you would go wrong with either card, to be honest. You know, I don't think you can go wrong with a lot of the top end Nvidia cards, especially nowadays. As long as you got like a rock solid computer that can handle these type of cards, then you're pretty much good to go. Unless you're really trying to push like 4K 60 all the time, then a lot of these cards
Then
can be
you're
done.
getting like two 1080 Ti's and you're fucking running them SLI.
Yeah.
Or
You can get
yeah.
a Titan X Collector's Edition,
I was gonna
which
say,
we
yeah.
got a sneak peek at. I don't know who the fuck would buy a Titan X Collector's Edition. Probably Jace from 2 Cents is the only person that would buy this shit.
Well, it depends
A
because there are
$1,200 card.
Yeah, that's what the Titans have always been.
It's expensive.
Yeah. But the Titans have also always been the best. This year has actually been the weird point where there is no point to buy a Titan over a 1080 Ti.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a 1080 Ti. It's not really any better.
You're just spending so much more money.
Yeah, the rumor, which I doubt will be true, but could be really cool though, is this might be the way they show off Volta.
What do you mean?
Like after Pascal, like their next
arc?
series. Yeah, like their next series of cards.
So you're saying this collector's edition would have Volta as the architecture?
This could. That is a rumor that I have seen float around. I don't think that will happen, but that could be a cool case.
That would be cool.
That's a wet dream.
That would be cool. That would be the only reason for it to exist.
Yeah.
Is if it had a new architecture in it. Because who the fuck is buying Titan XPs? You're getting 1 extra gigabyte of RAM.
Holy shit! I'm looking at the stats they're using it and compare it against the 1080 Ti. Yeah, why would I spend $1,200 on this card?
You wouldn't unless it had Volta
for 300 more CUDA cards. For
like the biggest reason is
it's got 1 extra gig of RAM.
Yeah, it's also the main places who buy these. It used to make more sense. It's less sense now. But I mean, usually these are for banks, PC banks, PC farms. They're for machine learning. They're for, all of that high end stuff. They used to be. And now everyone's buying 1080 Ti's.
Yeah. They used to be. They used to be big in graphic 3D modeling as well. These
yep.
Titan
Or
cards.
even just rendering farms for game development. Everything like that.
But then it's like, if you're even going to think about spending $1,200, you just go Quadro and you just get professional workstation Quadro cards. So it doesn't make much sense for these Titan, except like you said, if they brought on the new architecture for like high-end enthusiasts to test out and to like hang out.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
So that would make sense.
That's because they used to at times they've done that in the past to introduce the architecture.
Yeah.
So like that is a hope, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Could be really cool if they do that though, or if it actually shows a significant gain over 1080 Ti.
I highly doubt it will, though.
Oh, I do too.
Highly doubt it will. BuzzFeed's new social media card game is an easy way to harass people. This is out of The Verge. This is a article by The Verge that I really did not agree with. So what this card game is by BuzzFeed. It's called Social Sabotage. And basically it's like truth or dare. So you take one card and, for instance, this one says, send a Tinder match. Then you pick up another card and then it'll say something like, the quote that you need to send your Tinder match or your mom on Facebook or something like that. It's actually a pretty good idea for a card game. But what the article The Verge wrote, this is by Laura Hudson. She wrote it in a way that was very SJW, like this is harassment and this, you can't do this in this day and age. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because it's, for one, there's card games out there and there's board games out there that are a little racy and they're meant to like embarrass people, when you get into a circle and it's like, let's watch this guy get really embarrassed by sending.
Wasn't this a movie last year? Wasn't there a movie like this last year called
That's
Nerve?
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
It was a card game? Or was based
it was
on
like an online social truth or dare, like
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh yes, you're right.
God,
that
man.
was with
BuzzFeed can't even be original.
No, what do you expect?
I know.
I guarantee you they make a lot of money on this card game. That's all BuzzFeed cares about is money.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's basically what it is. It's like a truth or dare for social media. But I just wanted to point out that the article that The Verge wrote about it.
It is really SJW.
Yeah. Listen, don't take it too seriously. It's a fucking card game. Obviously, you're not going to send a dick pic to someone who doesn't want a dick pic. You know what I mean? Obviously,
not even.
Go ahead.
I don't even think that's an option in here. Like, I don't think one of the cards is like send a dick pic. I think it's just like send an eggplant emoji. Like, people are taking shit way too seriously.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. I read this and I was like, oh my god, get a fucking off.
Probably wouldn't you also like probably likely only send this mostly to people who are also playing the game?
No.
Like if it's okay, I was gonna say like if it's a card though that says send a dick pic, it's like I'm not gonna hit up my dad and just be like, yo, dude.
Right.
No. And even if it was in there, even if it was in there, that's up to the player. Like, that's part of the game is to like, are they gonna do it or not? And if the person does it, then that person's probably an asshole, but it makes the game fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally it's truth or dare. So it's really up to that person to do.
No, I'm just saying,
just makes it fun to do.
I'm just saying that I subscribe to r/Tinder, and I've probably seen some funnier shit. Yeah, funnier and worse shit than that. But yeah, like if first of all, if you're matching with people on Tinder, like, I hate to say it, but you probably shouldn't get too invested when you match somebody anyway. But if you match somebody and you're playing this game and they're like, send a Tinder match of text that says, send me a photo of your pretty ears. Like, that's actually, I mean, it's funny, I guess, but I mean, you shouldn't take it too seriously.
Right.
Like, you're not even.
All right. Here's a quote that the article states: while many of the options are silly or innocuous, others veer uncomfortably towards the sexual. Options listed in the promotional materials for the game include numerous messages one might not want to receive from, say, an ex. Want to be the +1 for my cuddle party? I'll be your puppy if you tell me I'm a good dog. Send me a photo of your pretty ears, and of course, eggplant emoji. So obviously, sure, it's a little bit of a sexual innuendo. But Jesus Christ, calm down. No one's forcing anyone to do this shit. It's part of a fucking card game that's supposed to be funny.
This isn't like fucking China where we're all going to be rated on how fast we clap for the president. You know what I mean? Which that was a thing. But but I mean, like, you don't have to play the fucking game. Like, it's not like.
I think the point for them wasn't the playing the game; it was getting the messages.
Right, but that's decided upon the person playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of the game, is to put you in those scenarios where if you're an asshole, if you're an asshole, then you're still an asshole. The game just enables you to be more of an asshole. Is that on? I
get where Jerry's coming from, because he's saying that, like, the other person receiving the messages, they're not playing the fucking game, so they have no context.
Yeah.
But I also see where, like, all of these, that if you send them, you don't really make anybody on the other. You might make somebody on the other end a little bit uncomfortable. They'd be like, "What the fuck? This dude's weird."
Well,
but in the end, you look cringy for sending this shit.
Yeah, and
that's what this whole game's about. It's making you feel cringy. It's not making the recipient feel cringy, which, I mean, you never know.
Exactly. And at the very least, what do you do? Oh, I was playing this card game and it told me to do that. And there's
I was playing this.
I didn't mean to sexually assault you with my eggplant emoji. You know what I mean?
I was at the end of my ropes. I was thinking about suicide, so I decided to play this BuzzFeed card game.
I'm not trying to be real life here, all right?
The person just texts you a suicide prevention hotline number. Yeah, I don't know. I saw this from The Verge, and I was like, oh, man, this just didn't... You see stuff like this, and I like to point it out, because sometimes we take this... Like, I agree, there's some issues in America that we should address, but, like, come on. This is a fucking card game. Like, this didn't need... No one needs to spend the time to tell us that we shouldn't be sending eggplant emojis to our boss if we didn't really want to. You know what I mean?
Welcome to the now internet-enabled world that was already pretty messed up by 24-hour news networks, dude. There's always got to be something. That's the biggest problem, is there's always got to be a story.
Yep.
Best thing about this is Cards Against Humanity is still a better drinking game, party game. So nobody's going to play this game anyway.
Actually, there was oh man, I wish I remember this other game that we played. It wasn't that long ago.
There was some great value version that I've played before that is basically Cards Against Humanity.
Exploding Kittens is pretty good too.
It was one where it was basically Cards Against Humanity, but you would like insert people's name into it.
Yeah.
like not on the card, like you could like insert a name into it whenever you said it.
No, we just played this.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I'm gonna try to figure it out for the next show.
Was
I
it
really wanna
the
recommend it, guys.
Cyanide and Happiness one?
No,
the one
it
where you
wasn't-
made the
it wasn't
comic
a-
strip.
No,
That
it
one was
wasn't a
good.
game like Cards Against Humanity. It wasn't. It was like it was just a fun game that we played. I forget the name of it though. I'll ask my friend because we played at her house, and I'll let you guys know. All right.
By the way, if any of y'all really like Cards Against Humanity, you should get the Cyanide and Happiness version, where they basically it's like a 3-panel comic,
Yeah.
and and people just try to complete the comic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty fucking
I gotta
funny.
check that out
pretty
because I love
hilarious.
Cards Against Humanity. All right,
If you
this
like
is
Cards Against, I was gonna say, if you like Cards Against Humanity, Jackbox is always really good.
yeah,
It's
that's that was something that we tried to play the other day, but it didn't work on like the fucking Roku device or something that we were using. All
You can
right,
get it on your Switch.
yeah, Switch.
The TCL TVs, dude.
So here's the Verge holiday gift guide and the Engadget holiday gift guide. I love these holiday gift guides because you always find some cool shit that you missed along the year.
Some cool shit you want to buy for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, usually what I'll do is like if I see something cool, I'll ask my brothers or family members. I'll be like, "Yo, I'll get you this if you get me one of these." That's usually how we trade things. So go check this out. Let's see some namely cool items here. Watch
there
What You
any,
Eat. Watch What You Eat by Binging with Babish. There's his
Oh,
book's
dude.
out. That'd be a great gift.
Yeah, there's a $500 typewriter on here
Oh,
Really?
is that
called the
is that what
Free
it-
Write
Yeah.
Smart Typewriter.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
You know what that is?
I'm looking at it right
Okay,
now.
they do go cheaper. I don't know. I've been on that guy's mailing list for probably 4 years since it was a Kickstarter. it's kind of cool, but you really have to be into writing. Like you have to be
Yeah,
a novel
what I'm-
writer.
Yeah, what I imagine is they're trying to give you an environment to type in that's distraction free. That's what
Yeah.
it says.
Yeah,
So
so
basically
basically,
it's
it's a typewriter, but it's
Yeah,
linked
with a
with Wi-Fi
mechanical
to an
keyboard.
account. No,
Yeah.
it's an actual typewriter. Like, but it's linked to an account, so everything you are typing is stored like in a Google Drive, basically.
No, I think it is a mechanical keyboard though.
It is okay.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
used to-
well, I
the
mean, this
original was supposed to be-
$500 version is.
But like
It's a
yeah.
mechanical keyboard and it has an e-ink screen.
Yeah.
they changed it then. That's dumb. Because originally I thought like they were trying to make it be like it's a typewriter, but it syncs to a Google Drive account basically.
Typewriters are huge right now in Philadelphia. There's a whole store.
Oh, they've
just
been
opened up.
huge for a while.
Really? I just started.
Yeah,
I
it's
went to the
it's
store
the-
and looked
it's-
at
it
it. I
was-
was like, oh my god, some of these are so expensive.
Yeah, no, like at least 2 years ago, probably that became a huge like
It's kinda
Tumblr
like-
hipster trend.
Yeah, I
It was
about to say,
like
it's
it was
kinda-
like vinyl players about 5 years ago.
They're
yeah,
cool.
no, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's kind of like when I was in a record store like a year ago, and I was looking around at records, and they had a cassette,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
my
a
record store
cassette
has it.
section, and I
I
was
don't
like,
have
oh,
a cassette.
okay.
They sell them in Urban Outfitters now, like cassette players. I'm just like, no.
All I'll say is
No, there's nothing good about cassettes.
nothing.
I definitely did not take part of a band that ended up putting out a special edition cassette as their
Oh
first
my
ever
God, you
piece
Bruh.
of material.
Bruh.
Wrapped in a
I'm a-
fucking cardboard cutout.
Bro, I'm a Ty Segall fan. All right. So his last album that came out, I actually have 2 copies for some reason. I have one that I never opened, and then I have another vinyl of it. And he actually released a special edition that's on cassette.
Hold on.
Yeah, no,
hold
that's
on.
that's
hold
been
on.
happening.
Yeah.
That's
Hold
been
on a
happening in the DIY scene for
Hold on
a
a
long
second.
time now.
Let's just bring up the fact that Loco posted a Glockamora
Right?
song in the chat. No idea that you listen to that type of music
Yeah.
at all.
I do.
Glockamora is like deep. That's like deep Philadelphia emo heavy shit. You know what I mean?
Like
I didn't
legit.
know you knew that shit.
Yeah,
I
well, I
wasn't
mean, like
impressed.
legit.
What do you, yeah?
the
Why do you
first
think?
video
Why do you think
the-
us two and Matt have always been hanging out so much?
Yeah, it's because we all talked like I got a little bit of the emo and then I got a little bit of or a lot of the metal. But yeah, man, like the first time I ever watched one of your videos is like, I was like, oh, American football. That's legit. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I saw
man.
it and I was like, oh shit, okay. How great is that album? That's one of my favorite albums ever.
Irrevocable, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a
But
fucking
yeah,
great album.
yeah, man.
I
A
was
lot
impressed.
of this stuff is hipster. I literally
I would
did.
say typewriters are cool if you liked writing, but just get a typewriter. Like, I don't know, why would you want to get a cross typewriter thing? I guess if it linked,
everything's digital now. If it links like it was
yeah, I
supposed
guess if
to,
it
that could be
links,
cool.
that could be cool. But then you could kind of just
for
get
those
like
that don't want to go full hipster.
Yeah, just half hipster.
Well,
some
yeah, that's the other
typewriter
problem, though, is, like,
keycaps.
Realistically, though, in today's age, how are you going to get your work published if it's not on a digital copy?
What you would do is you would
You
typewrite it
self-publish.
out.
You have to print off your own copy that you,
And then
No,
type
no,
it
no,
up
not
again.
attached. You have to print off your own copy and then hand deliver it to the publisher,
No.
or mail them a book.
No, you would
Like-
typewrite it out, and then you would just take pictures of it and turn them into PDFs, and then email it to them. That's how I would do it. All right. Yeah, but go check out these lists. They're pretty cool. They always have some cool shit.
Yeah, they do have a lot of crazy hipster shit. Like I literally just had to scroll down one more line, and there's an old Polaroid camera.
Oh, of course. So those came back a
Polaroid-
while too
Yeah.
ago.
Well, actually, Polaroid just came. They're coming out. Let me see this thing.
It's $100 for a Polaroid camera.
Yeah, the
camera.
one step.
It's
the new
yeah.
Polaroid. Like it's an actual Polaroid
Well, yeah,
camera now.
because that was big news too. Probably like 5 years ago when they reopened the factory.
Yep, and now they're starting to put out the one-step things, which are the 1x1s Polaroids, which is cool, but it's meant for like, I don't know.
It's
I
meant
have
for-
an old bunch
it's
of
meant
old
for
Polaroids.
film students.
It's just like you're not in that time anymore, so it just doesn't hold the same type of feeling that
Yeah.
it did when it was around. Like I had an old construction Polaroid that they would use for construction jobs, and it used to have like a really nice image. And when I first brought it out, I was probably like 13, like riding bikes with my friends and taking pictures on the Polaroid. But now if I got one, I'd feel like, I don't know, like why don't I just use my iPhone? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't hold the same type of feeling.
Dude, no, you just gotta throw all your money at the Impossible Project.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Let's see what the Engadget has really quick, because they have their holiday gift guide up as well. Oh man, don't tell me they're one of these. They're one of these
Yep.
fucking people. All right, forget it. No, don't
Yep.
go to the Engadget one.
Nope.
Moving on. I want to talk about. Well, we have to talk about the iPhone 10 that just came out. Big phone. It's getting good reviews. $1,000, $1,200 for the bigger version of the phone. Pixel 2, actually, we didn't talk about this, but it's been getting hit with some controversies.
We
There's
did.
been some heat around the Pixel 2.
Yeah,
Oh, we did.
We covered that. Yeah, because that was how we ended it. Because both of us were pissed off and just like, yeah, you can buy an iPhone 10 or buy an iPhone 7,
Yeah.
like, or buy the regular Pixel.
Yeah, with the blue screen and all that bullshit.
Well, that's when I am worried about that with the 10.
Well,
A little
they-
bit, not
No
as much.
bezels.
I haven't, but we
No.
haven't seen anything about it yet. We haven't seen
I
any
know.
burn in yet. And
Oh, you're
it's
talking
a
about the
Samsung.
OLED.
The OLED,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a Samsung device, and we know Samsung
It is. No,
knows
I
how to make
think
their
it's- yeah.
devices.
I think it's going to be fine, but like at the same time, like I do give Apple credit that once it launched too, they sent everyone an email basically the next day, like, hey, don't open a still image for longer than like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And like that at the same time though is like a killer to me, where it's just like
Having
why?
to worry about that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
why?
That sucks. That's OLED, dude. That's the problems with
I know.
OLED. And like OLED's TV. Think about this, right? It's a bigger problem with OLED TVs because sometimes you leave the house and you leave the TV on, and sometimes I'll have like YouTube on TV, and when I leave, sometimes YouTube will stop playing and it'll just sit on my TV. And if I'm gone too long without noticing that, and my TV doesn't shut down by itself, it can burn that into the fucking screen, and you have to really be aware of that, and it does suck. So especially something like that's this small in your pocket, like if anything gets burned in on that screen, you're always going to see it. At least a TV is really big, and if it's like a little dot, who cares? But this is like, it's going to take up a lot of real estate, so you got to watch out for. I wish we could just get rid of OLED. LCD's fine.
I agree.
Although, have you seen
Well,
the iPhone 10 yet?
Not in person, and I still want to.
My brother
I
got
do
one.
understand it's supposed to be really nice, but I was gonna go back to it. I've yet to see an OLED that wasn't like I'd rather have an IPS, because
Okay,
a lot of the OLEDs are so blown out that I'm like,
I'll tell you this right now. It is the best OLED screen that I've
That's
seen
what
on
I've
a
heard.
phone.
yeah.
It looks like the icons on the phone are like stickers. Like you're pressing the pixels. It's crazy how tight that they made those margins from the screen to the glass, because it feels like you're touching the shit. They did a really good job on this OLED screen. Battery life is supposed to be really good. The second optical image stabilization and the portrait lens is pretty cool. Face ID seems to be working fine with people.
Still pissed about that.
We have, yeah, that's.
I want the cameras on the other side, dude. I want them. I want the VR facing the world, not me.
Yeah, you might get that in the S. Who knows, dude?
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be a good phone. They did a
Yeah.
good job on this fucking phone. So
I will
not
will give
surprising,
up.
really.
There is one thing I will give them crap for. Like, come on, Apple. Like, you of all people know, like, send people review units a week early, 2 weeks early. Let them actually craft a review. Don't send them a review unit 24 hours before it launches. Like, come on. That was
Yeah,
scummy.
Did they say have a reason why they did that?
No.
I don't
And they're also somewhat there's a little bit of like controversy,
shit.
mostly from like Leo on that, because Leo's not getting one, and anyone who has like not said anything other than Apple is God is had a harder time getting a review unit.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of controversy. I don't know how real that actually is. It could just be conspiracy bullshit. But I was just like, come on, you gotta send if you're sending someone a review unit, send them a proper send it to them so they have a proper time. Like, I was hyped because I wanted to know the reviews for it the day it was coming out, and the NDA was lifted. Half of the reviews I went to were like, hey, this is a review in progress. It wasn't even it was first impressions, because it was like, hey, I don't have a score yet. I've had this phone for not even 24 hours. That's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
But that's terrible.
I do have a question though, real quick. Is there an option to just do a numpad password instead of Face ID, or is it all Face ID now?
Yeah, you could have a password. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks like they're pushing this facial recognition thing really hard.
I think it's cool, and I was worried that the facial recognition shit was gonna drain the battery. Now it's not as beefy as the 8, but it's still like the battery life is pretty fucking good. In some tests, it's beaten the 8. So I mean, it's working as it should work, man. I think if it gets to the point, they need to fix the notch. I don't like the notch. Get rid of the fucking notch. But if they fix it to a point where if you can like just look at your phone and it unlocks, I think that is like the end technology. That would be really cool. Like if it's just sitting like on your desk and away from you, and you just look at it and it turns on and opens up, that would be when Face ID would be like, okay, now I'm on board. Until then, just press a button, you're good to go.
I want both though. Like,
you can't have your cake and eat it too, Jerry.
Yeah, you can. You just have to have the phone like a millimeter thicker.
No,
and
not with Apple. Not with Apple, dude.
Because like for me, I think it is. I know, and I think that's to their detriment personally.
Me too.
Oh,
but,
does this? Are we going back to glass backs now?
Yeah, no, it's a full glass back.
So this is going to be the new iPhone 4. People are going to be breaking these things like.
No, that was the first thing that I saw. Was like it has not been doing good on that. Like, there's a couple where it's been good for drop tests, but like consensusly. Yeah.
You just gotta what I was gonna say is I want the glass though, because you need the wireless charging if you want wireless charging.
Yeah, but it's
still like kind of a thing, but
you don't need the glass for that.
You can't use
part of
aluminum.
No, but you can use other things.
What can you use?
There's plenty of phones that aren't glass back that have wireless charging in the Android world.
What phones? What do they use? Plastic?
Probably mostly plastic, yeah.
Yeah, but then you got plastic on your phone, you know? Then you got plastic on your phone.
I'm okay with that. It's not going to break.
Yeah, it's true.
But what I was going to say is, like, for me, it's just I want a fingerprint sensor still for when I'm driving. That's literally what it is. Like, I don't want to have to pick my phone up in front of me while I'm driving.
Well, I think
to be
that's
able to,
the
like, check
goal.
the
That's what
time
I'm
and
saying.
stuff.
That's the goal. Is like if it's in your cup holder and you just look at it and it turns on, you know.
I don't
or
want to
it's
look
in
at
the
it.
Thing. It's in like
That's the thing is
little thing.
I don't want to have to like physically look at it. I want to be able to still be looking at the road and be able to like just like bring it up in a peripheral and just like, cool, I can switch my music now. I don't want to have to actually really, switch and stop looking at the road to look at it.
Right, but you're going to be looking at it anyway to use it.
Like out of a corner of an eye. And if that
Yeah, but
works,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I'm
That's-
on board. I'm on board. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's where they're trying to get. Where you basically like you just glance at it and it's just bloop right up wherever it is, as long as you can see your fucking eyes. But it's not there yet. You have to have
Yeah,
it. Like,
until it's a,
you have to
I
have
want,
it. Did you see that Nilay got destroyed for his first impression on it from the Verge?
yeah.
He uses his phone like this. Oh, let me check my phone for a second.
Which is weird though. I actually trust Nilay a lot though.
Yeah,
I know
but
the thing that actually
I
shocked
can
me
see
about
where
that first
people were
impression.
Like, why are you holding
Yeah.
your phone like that?
Yeah.
Saying that this doesn't unlock. You're holding it by your knees. It was really
The-
weird.
The something I will say about that one too though. Okay, reading through that first impression, that I was a little let down by one thing in particular, and it was one of those camera shots. Two of those camera shots, it looked way better. That first camera shot, that Pixel 2 looked way fucking better, in my opinion, of the portrait mode thing. The portrait mode picture, that looked hands down way better.
Did he
in my
say
opinion.
it looked better, or did he say the iPhone?
I don't know what he said. I can't remember.
Oh, I know. Remember,
But like
I
for
remember you talking
me, seeing that picture, that was hands down way better. The other ones looked really close, and the iPhone was better. But there was that one picture was just like,
about. Yeah.
whoa, like this
Yes,
is a massive
Google,
difference.
Their software, like portrait mode, works better when it works good in certain situations, but a lot of time it's a little janky. But
Yeah.
with that being said, I just watched a video on like these new lenses for the Pixel, and when you couple like a wide angle lens and you put portrait mode on the Pixel, you can get like really sharp DSLR images because it gives you a wide angle view, like a 35 millimeter view, but it gives you that blurry background and it looks so good. And I really wanted to try that out. I kind of want to get a Pixel 2 to see how much better that is because it looked really, really good.
Yeah, no, I was shocked. I wasn't expecting that, and it looked amazing.
Yeah, that's like one of the only good things about the Pixel 2 is like the camera. Because a lot of people are just like very unhappy with the screens on it.
No, it's on the XL. If you get the regular one, everyone I've heard who's gotten the regular one loves it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm an XL phone guy, which is kind of why I'm not so hype on this one. The aspect ratio, like I tried telling that one dude, the aspect ratios don't work the same way. You're still getting a smaller video image because you need to fit the aspect ratio in there.
Exactly. It's gonna have a box,
or you're gonna crop everything, and you can't have that when you're a content creator. So that's
I get that.
Things.
I like 5 personally. Like I like the smaller version. I will say though, the smaller version of the Pixel looks ugly. There's no way around that.
I'll tell you what, this fucking phone feels amazing.
That iPhone X looks pretty, except for the notch.
I'm so jealous of my brother that he has one because it does feel like if you're someone who uses their phone for social media and that's pretty much it, this is the phone to get. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. But if you're someone who wants content, the chip is good too though, so you can't say it's really just for social media. I mean, it's a good phone, dude. It's the pinnacle of iPhone, I think, is this phone.
Yeah, I would say it's the chip's amazing until they get something that's going to really use it.
The AR is the only thing I think that I can think of so far.
And that's where it gets into that line of like, it is an amazing chip. It's actually really impressive. Why though?
Yeah. Just cause. Fucking why not? Might as well have it. Then not.
That being
at that $1,000.
Oh, I get that for that. I just mean like there's nothing that's going to use it yet. So at this point, like right now, if you're buying a phone for the next year, until something comes out, so what?
Honestly,
once that killer app's out for it, then it's a difference. But until then, Buy 7.
I usually buy phones for the next 5 years. That being said, I'm not buying another iPhone.
You going Android?
I'm getting away from iPhones. I went from like my first iPhone was an iPhone 4. This is my second iPhone, 6 Plus. I mean, it's all right, but I'm not going to get another iPhone. I don't like iPhones. Really, they're really easy to use, but they have no customability.
One of the key features of Android phones that I can't go between iPhone 4 is removable storage.
Yeah.
Being able to throw in a 128 gig SD, like micro SD card.
Yeah. But
And
I
expand
hope
my
they
storage.
don't
Some are
get rid
losing
of
that.
that. I hope they don't get
Yeah.
rid of that. The Pixel
Dude.
leaving that out was just so stupid.
I mean, there's a
It's
reason
been
why
out
they
for a
brought
while.
it back after the Note 5 didn't have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's an awesome feature of it because you could just fill it up and just pop in a new one. You know.
This this Razer phone looks really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
you spoiled the joke. I had a joke lined up for the Razer
Oh.
phone.
I was gonna say, it's
I'm
like,
sorry.
honestly,
This is
all
the
I'm also
phone
gonna say though,
that we're
No.
all excited about.
This
That
is
everyone's
the
excited.
next
There's one more-
hot
there's
thing
one
that's
more I
gonna
was gonna
take
say,
the
though.
market.
or you can be like me and be waiting for our Lord and Savior, the OnePlus 5T, whenever it comes out, because it's still got a headphone jack,
I don't know, dude. This Razer phone looks sick.
but it doesn't have a headphone jack.
Dual? No, it doesn't. But it's got a dongle, so you got dongle life. Dual front-facing speakers. All right, let's read off the specs here. I need to find them. I don't know where they are.
There's a little bar at the
Okay,
top. That
there's
you can
so
click.
many awesome specs. 120 hertz ultra motion, which is the Pro Motion that the iPad Pro has, is on this screen.
There's something cool about that I've heard a lot of people forget though too. It is a 120 hertz screen. It's also variable refresh rate.
Yeah,
That's the big thing about it too that I think is awesome.
that's so awesome. Featuring Dolby Atmos and THX certified audio. So it has the DAC built into the USB-C. So you just need a dongle to plug it in, unless you have USB-C headphones.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was built into the DAC, or not the DAC, the dongle. Jesus.
No, I don't think so.
Or is it built into the USB?
I think it's built
if
into
it's built into the USB, that's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, I think it's built into the
That's-
DAC.
That is a way. Maybe you can start selling me on no headphone jack,
I tried telling you, that's what they're trying to been doing with this. They're trying to get
but they
rid of the
haven't. So until they do,
3.5
it's
is like
useless.
old. It's an old standard. They're trying to modernize 3.5.
But they haven't been. That's the thing. That's the problem. It's once
Well, we're still.
you can
we're
get me
still
on
in that
board. No,
age.
you can get me on board if you actually are modernizing it. If you're just doing nothing, fuck off. You're just doing nothing.
Well, they're setting it up for it to be. I mean, they can't do everything. You know, they need third parties like I don't know, AKG needs to come out with that stuff. You know what I mean? Like those kind of guys need to start saying, okay, we see that you got
I do
this
get
stuff.
that.
Let's
but
implement it.
you could also offer both. The phone doesn't have to be the size of a paper. You could just have a headphone jack on it.
I agree.
you know,
I think
until you have this future solved.
I don't
Until
mind
you
the,
do,
the
you got
no headphone
nothing.
jack, but I would rather change. I would give me 1 millimeter for like 30%, 40% more battery. I would so trade that.
Like,
But
give me a
I don't
headphone
know.
jack and battery life. Like, I don't need the world's thinnest phone. Like, the phones are already by far thin enough, dude. They're not thick anymore. They're not THICC anymore.
Hold on, we got more. We got way more specs. Okay, 4,000 milliamp battery in this motherfucker.
Which you're gonna
12
need.
Dual cameras, 12 megapixel dual camera, Snapdragon 835 with 8 gigs of RAM in this fucking phone. DDR4, 18 by 66 hertz on the RAM. It's got the 64 gigabit storage with a micro SD external storage up to 2 terabytes max. Wide color gamut on the display. Corning Gorilla Glass 3. It's got a 1440 display, IGZO LCD display.
That's actually cool.
1.75
Sorry, the best
on
the best
camera.
Gorilla Glass I've ever had has been 3, to be honest.
Really?
Yep.
I don't even know what Gorilla Glass is what.
Everyone changes it a little bit too.
Yeah. The audio adapter with okay, so maybe it is built into the DAC because here it says audio adapter with THX certified DAC. So I guess the
The
DAC
dongle,
is
yeah.
built into the dongle.
See, that's what I was thinking. That's what I can't. That's what
interesting.
That's what I interpreted reading that.
Yeah. That's what it looks like, right? It would make sense if that was in there. That's what they say. Dual front-facing speakers, which is awesome. Everyone's saying it's the best sounding phone that there is. And that's pretty much it. But I don't think it has.
No Oreo till next year.
And I don't think that Sprint is on the. I don't think the phone has Sprint, but I could be wrong.
What's the price point on it again?
$700.
$799. So it's a
300
it's a lower higher end.
300 cheaper than both the Note 8 and the iPhone 10.
I like how you said it's a little bit on the high end, but that's like actually cheap for smartphones.
For Razer,
hold on.
This year now.
also are the kings of overpricing.
Hold on, Razer. Doesn't support CDMA, so it's not going to support Verizon or Sprint.
Yep.
That might be where it takes the hit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's.
I mean, it's not going to take a hit for being a Razer phone.
But to be fair, though, you just get your Cricket wireless, your T-Mobile, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the kind of phone that it. But this is all.
I think my PCS, whatever the fuck it is.
Razer coming out of the gate with a phone like this is awesome. This is an exciting phone.
Actually kind of like for Razer that I always associate with. I always associate Razer with higher prices than things need to always be. They're usually marked up pretty high.
Higher prices, not higher quality.
No, but exactly. And that's like, you can get a good mechanical keyboard for a lot cheaper than Razer's.
Right. Yeah,
but like for their phone to be $700,
really expensive. Their laptops are so expensive.
Yeah. Some other laptops are worth it except for the keyboard. Like I will say that like I still want to try another one, see if it was just issues with the keyboards I've tried. But I will say that build quality is very nice.
But I am impressed for the price point they're entering with this.
No, this is exciting for them to jump into the phone space like this. I want Razer to win. I like companies like this that try to do outside the box things. There's like an
that's outsider. Also a way to do it is say, hey, dude, we're gonna bring a 1440p screen with the first ever 120 hertz one on a phone.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to
hold it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it seems like they're trying to market this towards being a gaming phone.
Yeah, totally.
I really don't give a fuck about mobile gaming, but it just looks like a nice phone to me. I would use this phone.
The Lineage 2. That's about it. That's what it's for. That's the only thing that's gonna max this out.
What OS is this using?
Android 7.1 Nougat.
Yeah,
and it'll get Oreo.
Is this your next phone,
Q1?
Dude?
No.
No, is this your next phone, Loco?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
He's looking at it. He's got a
maybe.
He's looking at it.
Maybe, yeah.
He's looking at it like, I'm about to leave this iPhone.
Yeah,
pick up the Razer phone.
I do think it's cool.
Pick up the Razer phone. Well, the thing is it,
oh my God,
it would
Razer,
be coming out. It would be coming out like next year, right?
No, it's out like next week.
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm not buying a new phone in 1 week. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, it might be 2, but yeah, it's coming out real soon.
If you're looking to upgrade, hopefully they got the new Razer phone coming out by the time you upgrade. I would love if you bought
it is this month.
Yeah.
If the next one, like my upgrade in like 3 years, if that one is supported with Sprint, then I could see myself getting a Razer phone.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a cool looking little phone. It's got the fingerprint reader on the side. So you just bloop, bloop, hit the reader. It's cool, dude. I think it's a cool little phone.
Yeah, I think they think they're like going in a better direction than I ever expected Razer to. And I think part of that is due to Nextbit, because I thought the first Nextbit phone was actually pretty cool. Yeah. I thought that was a really cool, neat, unique way to like introduce a phone.
I mean, it's good to have more competition than just Samsung and Apple.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to leave the Apple iPhone again. I left it for a little bit, and I just like the way that the iPhones work. But if there was a phone to entice me back to Android, it would be something that just did something crazy like the Razer phone. Like if it had like if it was pretty much a Razer phone, then that's pretty much the only reason I would go back. If I could just load this thing up with games and just jam out front-facing speakers, make it like a content creator phone, you know? Give me a good chip in there so I can do mobile editing.
I'm just saying, this thing has This thing has as much RAM as my fucking computer I'm on right now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's got pretty fast RAM, especially for a mobile phone, man.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
Oh, the whole thing's a heat sink too. They were trying to hype that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
it's an
pretty
all
cool.
aluminum, and it's supposed to all be a heat sink, I guess.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, when I saw that, when I first started seeing reviews like on Unbox Therapy, I was like, no way, Razer did come out with the fucking phone. Because weren't you talking about that, Jerry, like not too long ago?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was
like,
sending
oh,
you stuff
shit.
about it, and then I watched damn it, Razer. In true Razer fashion, they released the keynote on Twitch, and every single clock on all of them were set to leet, and they're going to be coming out
Beautiful.
with a special edition. They're coming out with a special edition that there's only 1,337 phones for.
God fucking
Kill me.
damn it. And they gotta have that. They gotta have that green logo all over it.
I wouldn't want it any other. I would love it if the entire phone was that green color. That if they came out with a phone that was all green, I would buy it.
That was super lime green like
Yeah,
that.
that's slime.
You just
green.
wait for the next model with, it's gonna have RGB all
I can't,
over the
though.
thing. It's gonna glow
They need to-
16.3 million different colors.
No, they definitely need to get the Sprint version and the Verizon version.
Yeah.
going,
Yeah,
because
that's
I
gonna be
can't
the
get it
next
right
phone.
now. I can't get
I'm-
it right now.
I'm just gonna go back to swip swapping. I'll buy an iPhone next, and then I'll buy an Android again, and I'll
Yeah.
probably use a Pixel Book.
Oh,
Whatever's the
you were-
best.
I'll buy a Pixel Book while I'm using my iPhone.
Have you used it?
I
And
thought
then
you
I
were
will
talking
use-
about
and then
using.
I'll use it. Go back to Android while using a MacBook just to piss everybody off.
I thought that you were about to say that you were going to buy this and use it as a burner phone. I was about to say, you're living the high life if you're using a Razer $700 phone as a
No,
burner
dude, just use
phone.
Burner app. Come on, get with the times.
I tell you what, I got to use the Pixel Book in the Best Buy store, and it's a cool little thing. It's pretty cool.
I wish it had more than just Chrome OS, dude. That's the first time I've ever
Yeah,
said that because
you
that
and me
hardware
both.
is so nice.
You
dude.
and me both. And actually, like the little silicone on the keyboard pad.
It's nice, dude.
Genius.
Yeah,
Genius.
I know.
That's
It's just a little
genius.
mini wrist rest. It
I
feels
kind of want to
great.
make my own. Like I kind of want to cut out little silicone pads and just fucking glue them onto my Mac.
There's-
That's so smart.
There is rumors that you'll be able to boot virtual machines on that, and if that ends up actually happening, that might become more serious instead of just me memeing.
Nah,
I
it's
really
still
want
it's gotta
one.
have native OS. It's gotta be native OS. Just give me Windows, dude. I'm happy with Windows. All right, let's get out of here. We've been 2.5 hours long. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you go check out our Twitter at No Lives Gaming and our Twitch /No_lives. I got Call of Duty. If you want to play Call of Duty with me, hit me up at R3KLAW732. Gotta get my Call of Duty plug in there, bro.
Fucking Recklaw.
I was sitting there thinking, I was like, what the fuck is this?
You also get a full sponsorship of Gamer Fuel.
yeah, exactly.
G Fuel.
Yeah, our G Fuel code is RECLAW732. Make sure you type that in. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you all for listening. Peace.